What's up, guys? How's it going? How's your Monday going? I mean, that's a terrible question to ask. I mean, everybody knows how Mondays are going. It's going about the same way the Pope's Monday is going a bit. Bad, too soon, way too soon, way too bad, way too soon. My bad. Hot start. What is going on, guys? Let's see who's here. See if I can click the right buttons. Wildflower, what's up? Rosanna. Scott, what's up? 5 Alarm. Jeremy. Tammy, what's going on, Tammy? What's up? Whoa, Mike. Lynn, what's going on? Michelle, what's up? Robert, thanks for stopping in. Kay, what's going on, Kay? Renee, hi, Renee. What's up, Christina? What's up, Perry? What's going on, guys? You guys read the title of the stream, okay? You read the title. I'm just saying, it seems really strange that everything that JD Vance goes anywhere near either breaks or dies. Look, I have at least 2 instances in which I can prove that that's true, okay? And 3, actually, if you count the burning down of the United States of America, which is currently in progress. We've got a broken college trophy. We got a pope passing away almost immediately after JD Vance leaves, okay? All right? And then the country burning down. I mean, everything JD Vance touches right now, he's like the audience. He is like the opposite of King Midas. Everything he touch turns to dust. That's all I'm saying. What's up, Progressively? What's going on? Vance took his evil spirit and took out the Pope. It feels like at this point we should be able to say that. Okay? It feels like there is more than enough evidence right now to start saying that JD Vance is a bad luck token, right? I mean, look at this, guys. Here you go. I'm going to go even further. Donald Trump's first presidency wasn't as bad as this one. I said it. Okay? Look, if you look back at the 2017, let's just forget about COVID. All right, let's act like we're Trump supporters and just forget COVID even happened, okay? Because if you go 2017 through 2019, like 2017 through 2019 wasn't even as bad as the first 2 months. The Dow is almost to 37,000 again. We're almost back in 2023. This is not financial advice, but I may have purchased some NVIDIA stock. Not financial advice. In fact, it's probably a bad idea. To be honest with you, if the bottom keeps falling out on this shit right now, you guys, I'm going to need a lot more subscribers. All right? As it is now, for me to go full-time streaming, I'm going to need about 70,000 more a year, okay? That's a baseline figure. If the NVIDIA stock bottom falls out, I'm going to need a lot more. This is just the beginning. But I jumped in there. I said, you know what? We did this during COVID. We made some money. We're going to give it a try again. So we're going to give it a shot. We jumped in there. We're gambling. We're going hard. I'll let you guys know. If NVIDIA stock hits like 40 and I don't show up, y'all know what happened. Just fucking letting y'all know. All right? Me and the Pope going to be hanging out. Oh, all right. God, we started out fast. There's so many jokes, though. Dude, to be honest with you guys, the Pope was a good dude. Probably the best Pope that we've had in a long time. I'm not really a religious person. I'm a secular humanist. I don't really do the religion thing, but at the same time, I don't hate people for being religious. I dislike the institution of religion, but people that are Christ-like are good people, even if Jesus would get deported nowadays. As we well know, if Jesus showed up on the border and he was like, hey, just here to fix some shit, they'd be like, get your ass back to Guatemala, okay? That's all I'm saying. Dinky is planning on going to the Pope's funeral. Oh, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, why do they have to ruin everything? Like, can you imagine Donald Trump there? He was a pretty good Pope. He was all right. You know, there's been a lot of popes. He was probably an okay one. You know, he said a lot of things, a lot of mean things. He said things like gay marriage. It's okay. He said that. It's true. Let's look it up. It's true. It's true. He said a lot of mean things. Transgender people are people. That's what he said. I didn't say it. He said it. It's true. Look it up. There's videos. Can you imagine Donald Trump being at the Pope's funeral, just making it all about him? He's just there. He's giving his little speech, and he's like, the left-wing liberals stole the election from me. It's lawfare. They said I was convicted of 34 felonies. Not true. Not true at all. Like, sir, you're supposed to be giving a speech on the Pope. Oh, no. Just don't. Like, you think that's how they respond? Donald Trump, like, sends him a little, like, a heads up. He's like, hopping on Air Force One. Gonna head right over. Coming to the funeral. And they're like, just don't. Just don't. Please. Please just don't. Oh. China. Yeah, Jay. Like, he's supposed to be out there giving a fucking speech on the Pope, and he's like, China thinks that they're gonna beat me, but I am part of the deal. I wrote the book. The tariffs are gonna make them sad. They're gonna come back and they're gonna be kissing my ass. China. What about the Pope, sir? Huh? Huh? They think they're gonna build their own ships. I don't think so. You know, when the Pope was still alive, he said, America builds the best ships. China sucks. The Pope said it. Oh my God. That's where we're at, folks. I'm sorry. Art of War. Never heard of it. What up, Redog? What up, Fingerbell? Oh, fuck. Art of the Deal. He sent JD Vance over there. The Pope croaked. He was like, Art of the Deal. Oh. Get it? You gotta. It's the in and out with the hands, and it's the clasping of the fingers. You also, like, it's like, he's like his own conductor. You know, like conductors conduct the music. He's like his own conductor. He, like, emphasizes the sound of his voice with each movement. Bring it together. Take it apart. He kills me. Oh my God, literally. Probably actually gonna happen. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, the Pope died. So that sucks. I was just saying, I think I said this on stream the other day, the last thing we need right now is the Pope passing away and some, like, alt-right figure rising to prominence within the church. Like, that's Dunsky. At that point, we just fucking, we pack up the bags, we go live in the forest. It's fucking over at that point. But it does sound as though the Pope had kind of ensconced his values by bringing in what he called everyday people into the cardinals and the bishops and all that stuff. I don't know anything about religion, so if I'm messing any of this up, it's okay. I don't know anything about it. But it does seem like he brought in people that were supposedly a lot more like he was. One of them that's potentially being considered for the Pope right now is one of the guys that was real heavy-handed about going after some of these priests that had, diddled, had been to the Diddy parties, liked themselves some baby oil, if you know what I'm saying. And so that'd be dope. New Pope goes hard on the P, you know? You can take that any way you want to take that. Going hard on the P is, as a Pope, you can take that however you'd like to. But that'd be pretty dope. And then I was thinking about that. And then I was talking to my boss, and he said, one of the prophecies is that the last pope is actually Satan, and that's the signs of the apocalypse. And I said, well, fuck, okay. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. The prophecy potentially could be fulfilled. What happens if Donald Trump tries to ensconce himself as the Pope? Can he do that? I mean, at this point, he's tried everything else, right? I'm the Pope now. I walked in, I said, wow, you guys don't even have a Pope? Well, I guess I'll be the Pope. I mean, I shoot holes in ones all the time. I win all the championships. I beat all the kids at the Easter egg hunt. And now I'm the Pope. It's a possibility, I'm just saying. Are we getting a fit young Pope? They don't like young popes, Redonk. Because if you get a young Pope, they last longer. That's what she said. Sorry. I'm going to hell. They don't like electing the young popes because then it's the same pope for decades. I think they intentionally get themselves old popes so that way they fucking kick the bucket sooner. There's a chance for an African pope. Buff Korean Jesus. Okay, hold on. I'm not down in Little Me. I'm not down in Little Me yet. I have to get down into Little Me if we're gonna do this. Sorry, Christina. Sorry! Dear Lord! Mute it! Don't mute me, bro! Don't mute me. I'm sorry. Okay, I repent. Guys, I repent.
The crisis is now.
Oh, shit. Ezra Klein, stop it. Okay, hold on. How do I do this? Oh, yeah. This button? This button. I need another monitor, guys. I need another monitor. Did you say buff? Is this going to get me banned? Oh my God. Oh my Jesus. Sweet, sweet Jesus. Oh, you guys can't see that. Hold on. Can I move that over here? Oh, no. Oh, I'm pushing buttons. Bad idea. Oh, Christ. I done messed it up now. Way to go, Redonk. Way to go. Well, you guys get the point. Is this real? Where's this from? Buff Jesus in South Korea. This Korean statue depicts a Jesus so jacked it looks like his last supper was pure protein. Is this real? Redonk. Is this real? Can I go see buff Korean Jesus somewhere? Dude, hold on. Is there like a story or something? This unit of a Jack Jesus statue. Hold on. Whoa! What is this? He turned water into whey. No trouble rolling the stone away from his tomb. Oh. And lo, he spake unto Thomas, and didst say, sorry, I'm not good with my old English, and didst say, dost thou even move tombstones, my brother? Oh man. Definitely did CrossFit. This is why Ice Cube warned Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill not to fuck with Korean Jesus. Oh, what is going on? He died for your gains. Oh, this is what America needs right now. And God said, those who move to his room shall live for eternity, for the gains of God are endless. I'm not even looking at chat now. I'm all up in this business. Blessed is he that skippeth not the day of legs. Jack Jesus enjoys the pain, for he without pain has no gain. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Unit. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, it took me a minute. Oh, God, I can't believe I didn't get that. It took me a minute to get that. He does CrossFit. Oh, my God, that is fucking gold. He does CrossFit. Oh, my God, dude. Oh, my God. Oh, Manny, you're just in time, buddy. Oh, man. Holy Christ. Literally. Hey, Christina, this is real shit. This is real shit, okay? Korean Jesus is real. You might not want Korean Jesus to be real, but he's real and he lifts. Brazilian Jesus hugs and forgives you. Korean Jesus beats the sins out of you. Oh my God, this is amazing. Me personally, I like to picture Jesus in a tuxedo t-shirt because it says, I want to be formal, but I'm also here to party. I prefer 6 pound, 4 ounce baby Jesus, just so you guys know. That's my preferred baby Jesus. Korean Jesus isn't real. He can't hurt you. Oh, he looks like he's grinning at the Romans for trying to make him suffer. He died for your sins. Now it's your turn. Holy shit. Oh. He's busy with Korean Jesus shit. Conan, the son of God. Oh. He was a carpenter. 'Tis true. He shredded for our sins. Bro has an 18-pack. This is why people eat boiled eggs at Easter. Oh, no. Okay. All right. We could probably just look at the comments for the rest of the night, guys. Holy shit. That was so worth a redunk. Oh, fuck. That was amazing. Okay. All right. Now we're down here in Little Me. Oh, I'm in top chat. Don't be in top chat, guys. Don't be in top chat, guys. Holy shit! I'm gonna put my arms down now. I don't feel like I'm as burly as Korean Jesus, man. Fucking have to work out more. Like, now I'm not feeling fit at all. After seeing that, dude, like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I have some syndromes going on now. Like, I'm gonna need Benny Loco in the house. Like, Benny needs to flex for me so that way I feel safe. Get up in here, Benny. God damn it. Man, I'm committing a lot of blasphemy today. Shredded for his sins is top tier. Yeah. We got Ezra Klein. We got Ezra Klein queued up today. We're going to talk about Palantir because I told you guys we're going to talk about Palantir. The fucking most hilarious shit ever. All the Trump supporter, MAGA, fucking NSA is watching you, bro. Like, you know that Biden hates Edward Snowden, bro. All of those people are literally standing for a dude who's the best friend of and works with now. Either they're going to work together on a project. They're going to be fucking viewing your computer shit together, Elon Musk and Peter Thiel. Okay? I'm going to need some burpees. Yeah, you're right. I only do 10 burpees per time. Okay? Only 10. It's just to warm up. So yeah, we got a Palantir video queued because it's fucking hilarious how much hypocritical bullshit all these RFK, Donald Trump, MAGA people that were like, the NSA, you like the NSA in your business, bro? You think that Edward Snowden should have to hide from this government, bro? And now they literally worship a motherfucker that owns the company that does the most snooping in the entire fucking globe, Palantir. It never fails. This shit never misses. The hypocrisy on the right side of the aisle never fucking misses nowadays. Like, if you ask me like 5-6 years ago, if you're like, do you think it's like, what do you think the percentage of times that people would be hypocrites about the shit they believe over on the right? I'd be like, I don't know, like what's an average? Like 20-30%, high 30s maybe, you know? Like they do be gay a lot, okay? They talk a lot of shit about gay people and then they're all up in the bathroom making the secret hand signals, okay? So yeah, okay, that's probably high 20-30s. This shit's like 8 to 10. Like every fucking thing so far that they're like, you're gonna vote for Biden, you're gonna vote for a guy who weaponizes the law against his political opponents, that uses social media to shut people down. Like, so do you guys that crashes the stock market. You guys see all of this shit that creates a new world order? You want an imperialist? Is that what you want? You want a government that causes wars with other countries? I could go on, but anyways, we got a Palantir one now. They do be gay. They do be gay. He didn't weaponize Alzheimer's. Oh, Jesus Christ. There's so much fucking hypocrisy. Oh, it just doesn't stop. And I just wish it would. You know, like I said, I'm looking for W's nowadays. Not George W, but for W's. I am looking for a couple like W's. Like, we've gone too long, guys. It's 2 months into this fucking administration, and we're getting shit on by, like, all sides. They're like, yeah, we're finally well respected on the fucking world stage, brother. Donald Trump's gonna stop the war in Ukraine with a phone call. God damn it. Where are we today? Donald Trump's like, so anyways, if you guys aren't gonna make a deal, I'm just gonna leave. It's fucking cuckoo. Oh my God. You think Joe Biden out there causing all this war and stuff? I'm anti-war, brother. He bombed Yemen? Yeah, because we had to. He bombed fucking Samoa? Yeah, because we had to. Oh, God damn it. Iran's about to fucking load up nukes and blow us fucking halfway to hell. Don't worry, brother, we got a golden dome. I'm just looking for W's. All I'm saying, I just need one W. We're respected on the world stage now. By who? Fucking third world countries are shitting on us. The places that Donald Trump called shitholes are like, wow, America is a shithole now. I just need a W. That's why I bought Nvidia stock today. That is not financial advice. I'm just looking for one. Okay? I'm just looking for one. All right. So also, I got off track there. We got a little bit of Pope talk. We got Pope talk. Okay. We got Pope talk. And Pope Francis. Remember Pope Francis, 36/2025. He was a good dude. We can't have anything nice. Fucking JD Vance goes and curses it. Can't have anything fucking nice. Finally had a good pope. A guy that's like, hey, you want to get gay marriage? You like getting married? Whatever. Just be a good Christian. He's like, what's that? We got some people up in the church touching children? Fuck those people. We're like, oh shit. He's like, Gaza and Israel, he's like, people shouldn't be killing innocent people. I'm like, oh Jesus. Literal Jesus. Wow. Okay. This pope is based. And then fucking JD Vance had a fucking visit. Like 10 minutes later, we had a fucking reoccurrence of him breaking the college football statue. Like I said, even Donald Trump's last presidency was better with Mike Pence. It was better with Mike Pence. I said it. God damn it. Ugh. I think he gave him AIDS, Redonk. I'm pretty sure. Fucking breathed on him. Fucking this is what happened. Anyways, let's check out this. Oh, hold on. Annie done fucked up my stream. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to push a button. Hopefully this doesn't break anything. Okay. I need a third monitor real bad. Real bad. Okay. Okay, here we go.
The Catholic Church has begun a 9-day period of mourning following the death of Pope Francis. The Pope's death came less than 24 hours.
Guys, I wasn't staring at her boobs, okay? I wasn't.
For the Easter holiday.
I was turning up the sound.
I'm Michael George in St.
I know what you
Peter's
guys are
Square, where
thinking.
thousands of faithful gather every day. But today is different after the news spreads of the passing of Pope Francis. Now, I was inside the Vatican just 2 days ago talking to people who live here and work here, and so many people knew that the Pope's health was deteriorating, and they knew that this was coming.
Completely off topic, but have you guys seen that that Netflix documentary on that girl that disappeared in the Vatican? That's some crazy shit. I still got questions. It's been a while since I watched that. Still got a lot of questions that haven't been answered.
What they didn't know is how quickly this was coming. Remember, just yesterday,
getting a lot more mileage out of Vance. It's true.
And so
it's not good mileage,
that I
though.
talked with were certain that even though his health was failing, they knew that he would try and be a part of Easter festivities, and in fact, he did up until his final few hours. So this still did come as a shock.
Do you think he just like walked out there and he was like, "Fuck! I told you guys not to let JD Vance in here." You think did that Pope? Did he speak English? I don't think he did. Right? His translator's sitting there, and his translator's like, "Okay, so what the Pope would like me to tell you and all of America is that y'all should be a little more empathetic. Like, Jesus didn't die for this bullshit. So if you guys could calm down and stop being so hateful towards the rest of the world and trying to crash the global economy, Jesus would appreciate that." And you think the Pope was sitting there, he's like, "That's not what I said. That's not what I said. Tell this motherfucker." He's like, "I got 10 minutes of life left. I'm using it wisely." Tell this mascara wearing, Appalachia having, looking fat doughboy couch fucking motherfucker that I said, take his ass back to America. He smells. It's like the Pope said. The Pope said, "Go easier on the eyeliner." And start treating the homeless with some type of dignity. Also, don't call people peasants, bro. Look at you.
To people here. Remember that the Pope was more than just a religious figure to Catholics all over the world, but also a cultural figure here at the Vatican, in Rome, where people saw him as someone who was gentle, who was humble, empathetic, and warm. So there is a real sense of loss and sadness here.
There's not a lot of people like that.
And a lot of questions about the future of the papacy. In Vatican City, Michael George, CBS News.
Catholics here in the U.S. are remembering Pope Francis and celebrating his life and impact on the world. A portrait of Pope Francis is displayed in St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City, where Catholics are coming to mourn his death. The New York Stock Exchange held a moment of silence. At the Boston Marathon, a Revolutionary War reenactor is thinking about the future and who the conclave will choose as the next pope.
Hopefully they'll make...
Wait, what? Wait, why is this dude there? I was like, wait, what? What is she talking about? A Aren't they in Italy? Hold on. Where did this guy come from? I gotta go back. I obviously missed something. Okay, why? Wait, I obviously missed something.
A portrait of Pope Francis is displayed in St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City, where Catholics are coming to mourn his death.
Okay, first of all, they weren't mourning the Pope. They were mourning the 1,200 point drop of the Dow. This right here, all right? Those people, that's what it looks like every Monday with Donald Trump as the president on the stock exchange floor, okay? This had nothing to do with the Pope. This is a normal fucking Monday during Donald Trump's fucking presidency, okay? Has nothing to do with the Pope passing.
To mourn his death. The New York Stock Exchange held a moment of silence.
Yeah, why? What is this? Is this just what goes on in New York?
At the Boston Marathon, a Revolutionary War reenactor is thinking about the future.
At the Boston Marathon?
Choose as the next pope.
Hopefully they'll make a good choice. Because our world needs a little more openness and a little more acceptance.
This dude's like, I don't know why they asked me.
The third met Pope Francis in 2018 and had a 15-minute conversation with him in the middle of thousands of followers.
Did he symbolize to you?
He really focused on, like
living in the now and just really
the founding
feeling
fathers,
God in the present moment, that I always try
they
to do that when I'm in these kind of like these moments
too much volatility
of like change and just trying to find that community connection.
Now, the next pope is unlikely to be from the U.S. Pope Francis visited the U.S. for 6 days in 2015.
Damn, she just cast the most shade ever. Oh wait, I'm over here. I think I'm on a time thing here. She just cast so much shade on us. She said the next pope most likely will not be from the United. There is never gonna be an American pope, dude. It's not gonna happen. Like, dude. We wish, all right? That's like the one thing. They're going to hold that over us forever. They're going to be like, yeah, but you were never the Pope, though. None of your people were ever the Pope. You know that's not happening.
Making stops in Washington, D.C., New York, and Philadelphia.
All right. Good job. Way to go to Philly. Hold on. Yeah, I don't like games that I have to... I'm on like a time thing now. Hold on. Stop it. What we got? Okay. So what we got here, we got Really American... What is the name of this video? Outrage as MAGA Christians celebrate the Pope's death. You guys knew this shit was going to be real, right? Like, I was like, no way. No way. And then I thought about it for like half a second, and I was like, oh, yeah. They probably hated that Pope because he was a nice guy. MAGA Christians are like, be more like Republican Jesus. Why doesn't the Pope have a gun? Is he not pro-Second Amendment?
Biblically ironic that MAGA Christians and Catholics, the
boobs,
MAGA morality police, are always the first snowflakes to run to the comment section and say, why do you liberals have to politicize everything? Why do you have to politicize tragedy? And then they're the same ones who say like this.
But I don't know that I am so sure about where the Pope is today. I don't know that holding a title necessarily ushers you into the arms of Jesus. I think that babies died.
And I have the full clip of that MAGA host on Real America's Voice with her full chest.
Did she just say the Pope isn't going to heaven? Holy shit! No way! No way, dude! No way. Oh my God, that is a level of condescension I have not seen before. Holy shit, that is amazing. She said he ain't going to heaven. This lady. Oh man, the balls on that woman. Oh, she said the Pope ain't gonna make the cut. Oh, I hope Jesus is watching. Do you think Jesus is up there and he's got Fox News turned on and he hears her say that shit and he just pauses it and just goes, fuck. I'm not going back. His dad's over there. He's like, you have to go back. He's like, no, dude, you can't make me. I'm your father. Jesus is like, I ain't going back, man. Look at them. They said the Pope isn't going to heaven. You can't fucking fix this. He's like, get back on the cross. Fuck, how many times do you have to get crucified to fucking deal with this kind of dumb shittery? How many times would a fucking a Jesus-type figure have to be crucified to make up for this dumbassery? Holy shit. I can't. I don't understand. That's why Pope Trump makes sense. Because only Pope Trump can save us, guys. Only Pope Trump.
Insinuating that Pope Francis is in hell right now. Coming up for you in this video. But first, if I could ask you to just drop a like, subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out. We greatly appreciate you all helping us get to 500,000 subscribers. We are gunning for 1 million to fight back against this exact crap. And I will get to that clip in a second. But guess what, folks? While that may have been the worst, it was not the first MAGA moron, quote-unquote Christian saying something absolutely biblically heinous and blasphemous. You probably already read it, but here is Marjorie Taylor Greene today chiming in and saying, today there were major shifts in global leaderships. Evil is being defeated by the hand of God. Wow.
Dude, how does that, like I said, the hypocrisy is out of control. Out of control. Marjorie Taylor Greene thinks she's got a better chance of getting into heaven than the Pope, dude. Holy shit. I'm blasphemizing. I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to throw that out there. Normally not a person that cares very much about religion or any type of religious punishment, but today, with the type of things that are going on in our country, I have been praying. I have been praying. Oh, Jesus. I just can't. How MTG, dude? MTG, like, where were you when Jesus came back? Oh, I was tweeting about how the Pope dying was actually a good thing because he was evil. You were whating? About who? You? Marjorie Taylor Greene, dog. Oh, I got to hear what Lauren Boebert's got to say about this. Let's just hear what Lauren Boebert has to say.
Wow. That is so vile and such a new low, even for her. The woman to ever come out of Georgia and step into Congress. I hate this woman with all of my guts. And thankfully, I'll read you some of the responses here, and then we'll dive into that second heinous clip as well. But just, what the hell, Marjorie? I mean, she said some crazy stuff, but it's like, how does she up her own craziness with crap like this? Look at some of these replies, though. Thankfully, she got absolutely roasted and ratioed in the comments. Art Candy saying, celebrating the Pope's death, new low even for you. That I vile. Republicans against Trump coming out just saying, you're a POS. Adam Kingsinger, you're pure evil. You're a disgrace to America and the world.
Okay, not on par with the Buff Korean Jesus comments. So that Buff Korean Jesus definitely comment section, definitely better than this comment section. But also, this comment section definitely spitting some truths.
Are you seriously clapping because a pope died while claiming to be a devout Christian? The hypocrisy is completely staggering. The hypocrisy that we also saw from her husband, her ex-husband recently, was so Christian, right? Getting a divorce. Not that I blame anyone who gets a divorce or whatever, but the hypocrisy never ends. And then her husband shouting at these poor Islamic girls in a parking lot, saying disgusting things to them.
How do I?
Marjorie, I mean, you are a psychopath. I really hope
Marjorie Taylor
that
Greene
we can get her the hell out of office one of these days. I can't say that, but I feel that. Anyway, okay, so obviously Marjorie's getting her bleach blonde bad girl butch buttocks handed to her, thankfully. The same woman who just did insider trading on the economy as Americans lost their 401ks. My God, what a beacon of morality this is. But unfortunately now, we also have to talk about the MAGA TV host that you saw at the start of the show. Her name is Gina Ludon, and she suggested today in this clip on Real America's Voice, which literally, I would say something else, but I'd get demonetized, suggesting he's going to hell because of his policies. We just made a video on his final messages to J.D. Vance about migrants and all those issues that he has championed for a very long time. Freedom, peace, democracy. You can check that out up in the corner as it pops up here. But I want to play this clip for you. It's a little bit long. It's about 2 minutes, and there's two people in this clip. That girl that we just talked about, Gina, this one up top. Man, something about her just makes me...
Dude, it's she looks like a budget. What is the name of the spiritual leader in the White House? Paula White. She's like a budget Paula White. This dude up in the corner, he's like a budget George Foreman. Rest in peace, George. Rest in peace. The good ones are all going, dude. The good ones are all going. We got budget George Foreman right next to budget Paula White.
Anyway, and then this lady down in the bottom, and like, what a terrible way to talk about the Pope, to talk about anyone who's just died, right? Sorry, I know I'm blabbering on here. I'll play the clip here and then we'll talk about it after. Just listen to how terrible these people are. Oh my God.
Well, I very much appreciated Dr. Gina's comments about what seemed to me to be a troublingly political bent on behalf of Pope Francis.
The Pope? What, he said like 2 things? Like the dude every once in a while would come out would be like, yeah, we shouldn't hate gay people. And they're like, keep your politics to yourself, heathen. Whose
passage obviously is a sad event for the Catholic Church. And, no doubt he reposes in the arms of the Lord. But he...
Oh, okay. Well, at least she admitted the Pope made it to heaven. That's nice of her. That's nice of her.
He was a confirmed leftist, basically.
What the fuck? Dude, this world is fucking insane. She said he was a confirmed leftist. Oh, fuck me. I can't anymore, guys. I can't. Like MJ passes away, Michael Jordan passes away, and I'm like, Michael Jordan, possibly one of the greatest basketball players of all time, quite possibly the greatest basketball player of all time, but y'all know that he was a confirmed conservative, correct? So, hopefully he's in hell. Like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God. Like, the Pope's like, he gets up there, and Jesus is like ticking off everything. He's like, okay, you were a bouncer. That's cool. Okay, you did end up being the Pope. Wow, you were the Pope, huh? Yeah, that's good. Wow, good. Yeah, good job. Yeah. It says here you were a confirmed leftist. What the fuck is going on with this world? Oh, moving to a hut somewhere in fucking I don't know. Nowhere is far enough away. Not like the cold. I was going to say Antarctica, but I can't do Antarctica. Fuck, I got to figure out somewhere warm where people don't go. The desert? Maybe I'll move back to Slab City. Slab City. All these fucking hipsters are out there now, though. Hipsters and crackheads. It's really not a great place anymore. It used to be filled with people running from warrants. Now it's hipsters and crackheads. He's confirmed leftist, guys. What up, Swift? Swift, you're here for this. Hold on, I'll replay that just for you, Swift. She said he's a confirmed...
Reposes in the arms of the Lord, but he was a confirmed leftist, basically, at least by the lights of lots of folks, including me. And it will be very...
Okay, hold on. She said a confirmed leftist, and then she's like, by most of folks, well, at least some folks, at least if they agree with me. These people don't know what the fuck the word confirmed means. This is why they have such a hard time with science. She said confirmed, and then she was like, well, not everybody agrees with it. In fact, most people probably don't. But those people that think exactly like I do, it's confirmed to them. Jesus. Fuck. I'm saying Jesus a lot right now. Oh, he's on my mind. Thank you for the $10, 5 Alarm. Americans can only put people in one of 2 boxes. Anything outside of said boxes causes their brains to short circuit. That's right. Dude isn't even a part of American politics either. That's another thing. Like I said, that's a hypocrisy. Is these people are like, you globalists, you guys want this to be a new world order. And then, they literally put all of their expectations for how a person should act on every single fucking person on the globe. That's, that is peak hypocrisy. To be like, you guys want this whole world to work together in peace and harmony, you bunch of globalists. Fucking trade with each other and stuff. It's horrible. Not me. I just want everybody to think exactly the same. That's what I think is the best for this world. Jesus Christ. Confirmed in my opinion. Confirmed in my... You can never confirm nor deny. Redonk. We're going to have to play the video for him. I'm a
interesting to see what the Catholic Church does next.
He was considered a leftist, at least according to me, because he cared about human decency. That's so liberal and
so gross.
Shut the fuck up. But
Nice.
that just made me so mad, folks.
Oh, I love
can't
it.
even. I'm sorry for cussing. I know
No,
this
good
is
job.
kind of an important
No,
thing,
please-
but
please
this
cuss.
just feels like
This
it's
is what I
worth
do.
it here because these people are so grimy. Listen to this next lady.
And Dr. Hayworth, you know, I don't know if I've ever disagreed with you in the long, long time we've been in television together, but I don't know that I am so sure about where the Pope is today.
Dude, this is the hill she decided to die on? This is where you decided to fucking decide. Oh, I haven't disagreed with you on a lot of stuff in the entire time that we've been on this show together, but the Pope being in heaven, that's where I draw my line right there. I mean, are you sure that it's been confirmed?
Today, I don't know that holding a title necessarily.
Jay says, did you see Nancy Meth going off at a store on some guy that asked her why she was not attending town halls? Epic self-roast. I did not actually watch it. I have seen it pop up in my feed. It's just too much, dude. These people do so much dumb shit, it's hard to keep up with. Like, it is just like 24/7 nonstop fucking memes, TikToks, fucking articles, executive orders, fucking global trade wars. It's like, I said this before. People didn't like Joe Biden because Joe Biden was like their girlfriend that was like, look, I have a career and I go to work and I come home, I give the kids a bath, and I go to sleep. And yeah, sometimes I'm too tired to go out to the club, okay? And they're like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm so tired of this. This girl's so boring. Like, yeah, we own a home. Yeah, like fucking things are going great. And we have a bunch of savings and the kids have good parents. Yeah, but you know what I really want? I want a hot chick that does anal. And so they found Donald Trump. They're like, yeah, fucking Donald Trump. That's what I'm saying. He's exciting. He makes shit happen. You're like, well, the shit he makes happens actually really bad. Yeah, but it's interesting. Like, at least we get to talk about it, right? Like, it's fun. It's fun, motherfucker. You're having a nervous breakdown right now. Yeah, but it's fun. God damn it, dude. How about a Filipino Pope? Dude, I'm all about that. Did you guys see, I don't know how much, we don't cover drama bullshit. Well, yeah, we do. We cover political drama bullshit. We don't cover, like, real-life drama bullshit very often. You guys see that content creator named Vitali? He went to the Philippines, and he's one of these douchebags that do prank shit. And he was, like, knocking the hats off of cops. I think he even grabbed the gun of a cop, was, like, badgering their citizens and shit. And what usually happens with these big content creators is they don't, like, end up getting put in jail. They just end up getting deported and told not to come back to the country, right? Like, that's, like, super white privilege, right? Or super American privilege, because it's not just white people. It's other people, too. But it's all, like, content creators and stuff. His ass is looking at 20 to 30 years in the Philippines right now. They are literally going to actually convict that motherfucker of real crimes. And you know what? He deserves it. You can't go around fucking with people, especially in other cultures. Like, people hate Americans enough as it is. And I know he's not American, but he represents our culture because that's what people see about us. They see people like that and just think us, because that's the kind of culture that we've made, popular. You know, it's like fucking, like, people doing shit like that actually need some kind of repercussion. Over here in America, like, we got people who didn't do shit that are now getting deported to fucking, like, terrorist prisons. Meanwhile, people that are from here are going over to other countries and fucking with people, and all they get is, like, fucking kicked out of the country. Maybe that motherfucker should be sent to a terrorist unit somewhere. It's crazy. Vitaly is disgusting. I legit despise him. He bothered us in Florida filming, and my brother almost duffed him. That is fucking hilarious, Manny. He should have. He should have. Like, fucking the Johnny Somali guy, all that shit. That kid, who was that young dude? I say kid, he's probably in his 20s. That ended up fucking with that dude that was mentally not right, and the dude ended up shooting him in a fucking mall, dude. Like, leave those people alone. I'm not saying anybody should ever do some shit like that, but that man wasn't right mentally. Like, he was going through some bad shit, and that kid decided to fuck with him in the mall. And I forgot what he did, but he was definitely crossing lines. Like, that's what's wrong with our society, man. The society shouldn't be built around the, like, idea that it's super funny to watch people fuck with other people. Like, it shouldn't be built around that. Like, we shouldn't be, you know, encouraging our young kids to go out and, like, pester fucking elderly people. Or, you know, it's one thing for, like, jokes, like, actual, like, funny, like, jokes, you know, if it's, like, harmless shit. It's a whole nother thing to be, like, getting in people's personal space or getting on and touching them physically and stuff like that. Like, that shit, I can't stand that stuff, man. Where I'm from, like, that'll get you knocked the fuck out. Like, you don't, like, some of these people go down in the ghetto and do that shit, and I'm like, dude, you're lucky. You're going to do that to the wrong person one day. But, yeah, anyways, I got off on one because he said something about Philippines. But, yeah, I hope they do give his ass some time.
Ushers you into the arms of Jesus. I think...
I forgot what she was saying. Something about the Pope being, you know, literal Satan.
About where the Pope is today. I don't know that holding a title necessarily ushers you into the arms of Jesus. I think that babies died, like Christians were slaughtered across the world.
Am I wrong?
And there was no condemnation of that out of this papacy. I think that you look at what happened to marriage underneath some of the things that he said across the world. I think that when you look forward and you think about the possibility of someone like a Cardinal Dolan or someone like more in the vein of Pope John Paul.
Religious people, like, somebody that's religious, answer this shit for me. Because this is the kind of stuff that I've never been able to wrap my mind around when it comes to religion, right? Like, I've known a lot of good people that were religious people. Like, people that actually believed in taking care of the homeless, that didn't give a shit who got married, that, like, believed in, like, helping women that have been domestically abused and stuff like that. People that help with, like, alcoholics. I've known a lot of religious people that are really good people. But they never been able to answer this shit. Like, when you take something like this, you got a pope. A dude who is, like, the literal, like, the prophet of God or whatever the fuck that it makes him, right? And he comes out and he gives his opinion on some stuff, right? And let's say he's wrong. Let's say a couple of the things he said were wrong. Just, you know, whatever it is, whatever you believe, like his comments on pro-life versus pro-choice or his comments on marriage equality, you were right and he was wrong about that. Do you really think that God would be like, hey, thanks for everything you did. Super dope. You were a great pope. You were empathetic. You told people to live in peace and take care of each other. That's all really good. But I can't let you in. I'm sorry. Oh, what? I'm the pope. I can't get into heaven? Nah, man, you know, this one time on social media, you told a woman that had an abortion that she shouldn't hate herself, that we're all fallible. So I'm really sorry. We just can't have you. We can't have you in here with that guy over there that repented for sexually assaulting that woman. You know, he repented, so he's in. But you, the Pope, the guy who said everybody live together in peace, you can't. I'm really sorry. Those are the rules. Like, how do you make that okay in your head? It doesn't make any goddamn sense, man. It's so fucking mind-boggling.
When you think about that being a possibility and the growth that could take place worldwide in terms of, you know, not even just Catholic Church growth, but really Christendom as a whole, and the impact that someone like that could have, you do really hope and pray that the next pope is more in line with biblical teaching. And if you're
okay, hold on. She said you do hope and you pray. So if you pray, and the guy that you want, if you pray, if you say this is the prayer you say, God, once again I'm talking to you. This time not for a new vehicle. This time not to be famous. This time not to let that other woman let me have sex with her and her sister. God, this time I'm asking for something that maybe you can help me out with. Do you think that the next Pope, God, could be a man that is a representation of everything that you believe that you stand for, God? Do you think that you could make that happen for me? Also, I am still looking for that threesome. But anyways, God, please give me a man. Not in a threesome. Give me a man. Sorry. That represents your values as the next Pope. If you do that, and the next person that gets elected to be the Pope is another dude like this one, do you think it's possible that God gave you what you asked for? Do you think it's possible God was like, oh yeah, no fucking problem, dude. I can't help you with that threesome. You ugly. Okay, that's you're gonna have to talk to Satan for that one. But what I will do is I can help you out. That dude that I just had was him, and here's another one. He's just like him. Do you think that there's a possibility that if you're praying for a dude that's going to heal the world and make things better for everybody, it could quite possibly be the guy that you don't want in there because you're actually a garbage-ass human being? It's a possibility. I'm just throwing it out there. If
you're not in line with biblical teaching, I don't know where you land with God in the end. I really don't know. I think the number is few. But then again, I'm a Calvinist, so take it, doctor.
As a non-religious
take it, doctor.
person, I consider myself an agnostic theist. Okay, whatever. That I really think that's beside the point. I think anyone's religion is beside the point, but maybe not here, right? Because if you were the one complaining about Pope Francis's biblical teachings the day after Easter, may I remind you that based on your MAGA stupid, dumb, what's the word I'm looking for? Absolute bastardization of the Bible, of the biblical teachings. If Jesus came back today, y'all would have him deported and in an El Salvadoran prison in an instant. And the irony of that just doesn't click with you morons. But no, let me get on national television and suggest that the Pope is going to hell because I disagree with his politics, and then at the same time be the same people to say, why did we try to assassinate Trump? Why are the Dems being so political? Why are they saying all these mean things and calling us Nazis when we're spouting Nazi talking points? What the f*** is wrong with you people? When are you going to wake up? I mean, obviously you're not. You guys are so far gone. But it makes so much sense when you hear these people talk, when you hear how bold MAGA is getting, coming out and saying things like he's not Christian enough because he doesn't want to deport people without due process and get rid of the Hispanic people, the people who had the historical same skin color as Jesus Christ himself.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
Do you guys not understand? I think someone needs to hit them over the head with a Trump Bible until they until it clicks. I don't understand. Screw Marjorie Taylor Greene. Screw that woman. Screw Really America's Voice. What's really American are the ideals that we here at Really American are trying to push and trying to create a media ecosystem for left-wing, liberal, progressive people who are tired of this MAGA hate, who are tired of this MAGA bastardization of morality, of religion. So if that's something that you jive with, that you're on board with, and you made it this far, drop a blue heart in the comments.
Yeah, don't forget, guys. Don't forget to go check out Really American's channel. Here you go. We'll drop them in the comments. These guys are awesome. It's not just him, right? There's another dude, isn't there? There's a couple other dudes with the Really American. Yeah, go check out those guys. Give them a like. Give them a subscribe. Max, you're going for the benevolent flying spaghetti monster. I'm more of a, look, at the end of the day, if you guys want to be honest with it, if you want me to be honest with you, I think that, if I'm going to worship any god, it's going to be Thor, because Chris Hemsworth, kind of a stud, okay? And if you try to tell me that Chris Hemsworth isn't Thor, well, I'm going to need you to prove me wrong because I have video evidence that indeed Chris Hemsworth is Thor. Multiple 3-hour-long movies of Chris Hemsworth as Thor. In fact, there are ones that literally are called Thor, where people call him Thor, and then he goes around and does Thor-type things. I'm just saying, Thor, very much, my God's going to kick your God's ass. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying if you wanted to do the, like, my dad could take your dad thing, well, my God could definitely kick your God's ass. He's got a fucking hammer. He controls lightning. He can fly, and he was dating that girl from that Star Wars movie. Okay? Fucking boom. Who's your God dating? That's what I thought. Pope Francis was Pope number 266. Is that real? Is that how many popes we've had? Because if that's how many popes we had, we are going through them. Really going through them. Really going through the popes. Oh, wait. Hold on. All right. Where are we at here? Let's have a Thorgy. My God is bigger than your God. What's that in Kathy? Thursday is my Sunday. Thursday. Oh, God, that's good, Kathy. What up, Luck? Oh, man. Oh, good times. I'm glad I started doing more streams with you guys. This is why we're here, guys. This is why we're here. Let's take a look at all the... I know you guys saw that Pete Hegseth is now hosting live chats like I'm hosting live streams. Pete Hegseth is straight up just like inviting his friends and family into fucking Signal chats. His fucking brother and his wife. Like I said, the hypocrisy is insane. Like if Joe Biden... Well, if anybody in Joe Biden's administration... Like, these are the same people. Same people that were like Hillary Clinton's emails. They're sharing fucking national security information in Signal chats with Pete Hegseth's wife and brother. Like, Pete Hegseth, like, comes home from work and he's like, you know, it was a tough day today. And his wife's like, oh, what happened? He's like, oh, I just don't want to talk about it. I'll add you to the chat. You've got to see what I'm dealing with. Is your brother in here? No, but I'll get him in. He needs to know who we're bombing in Yemen as well. Like, what the fuck is going on? Why is no one on the right saying shit about this? I get why people on the left are. Obviously, it's the left's job to call it the right. It's the right's job to call it the left. But I also think at, like, certain times... when something is so fucking, like, insanely in your face that you also have to call out your own side. I know that everybody's playing the game and they don't want to call out their own side and all that shit. But it's like I said about Biden. When people were like, a right-wing person would come in and they're like, Biden's old as fuck. And, like, left-wing people would be like, he's not that old. And I'd be like, dude, don't do that. He is old. The proper answer to them saying Joe Biden is old is my old-ass dementia-ridden president has done a better job than yours. Just like my God is better than your God, my president was better than yours. That's the proper... You don't deny Joe Biden is old. You say Chips and Science Act, Infrastructure Act, PACT Act, bipartisan gun legislation, forgiving college debt, economy saved from a fucking recession, which you're goddamn president literally was like, yeah, I don't like that. We going for recession. I like recessions better than what he was doing. Like, that's what you do. The answer to somebody saying to a right-wing individual, when somebody on the left says, oh, it seems like Pete Hegseth keeps, like, you know, just bringing motherfuckers in like it's a meme. Like, he saw the memes and was like, I'm going to do that. Like, I'm going to bring in your kindergarten teacher. She seems cool. She should know about how many fucking healthcare people in Yemen were bombing today. That's a real thing, by the way. 10 of them. Why on the right don't you say, okay, you guys got us there. He shouldn't be doing that shit. That's bad. Maybe putting a Fox News commentator in as the head of the military was actually a bad idea. Can we get Mattis back? Can we get Kelly back? By the way, neither one of those individuals are left-wing individuals, okay? Mattis a little bit, but he's definitely center-right, okay? Kelly definitely conservative just say, you know what? That's actually pretty legit that you guys are calling out that he's including his wife and brother in these Signal chats. Probably something we should take care of. How did we fucking get here? Anyways, let's watch this video. Oops.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We really learned this weekend what happens when you choose your Secretary of Defense by watching Fox and Friends. It's not good.
They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs.
Happening inside the Pentagon under Donald Trump's Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. And I don't mean policy disagreements here. I mean full-on chaos, leaks, purges, classified.
Yeah, how many of his own fucking hand-picked people have been forced to resign now? We're only 2 months in.
Information floating around Signal group chats. Yes, another Signal group chat. And Elon Musk in the mix of it all. And mass quitting is now taking place. You're not having a stroke. This is real life in the Department of Defense under Donald Trump's second term Secretary of Defense. So here's what's going on. First, Hegseth, who was barely confirmed after getting grilled over allegations of sexual assault and showing up to work smelling of alcohol, he has now lost 4 top aides in a single day. One of them, his own chief of staff, Joe Casper. The other 3 were fired under suspicion of leaking classified information, even though they were reportedly about to be cleared. Now they've been fired. What's really going on, as usual, we don't know.
Good.
To make it worse.
Hold on. Does David Pakman have like 13 of his own book on the bottom shelf there? Come on, David. Come on. Also, let's see what other ones you got there. Tom Wolfe. Okay. All right. Scale by Jeffrey West. I don't know what that one is. Okay. City on Man. City on Mars. I was like, I thought it was a City of Man. City on Mars. Traction. Ultra Learning. Okay. Bullshit. He just has that one back there to make himself look smart. $1 Billion Well. That's probably a good one. It's a Lawrence Wright book back there. Okay. All right. I'm gonna cast some shade. It's an okay bookshelf. Not as good as mine. I'm sure David Pakman has bookshelf envy. Okay.
Hegseth's team tried anonymously smearing them in the press. This is like middle school drama with the nuclear codes, which is very risky stuff. These were not small leaks. They were referring to military strike plans, carrier movements, American intelligence operations, briefings on China. And by the way, the briefings on China almost delivered to Elon Musk, who still has massive business interests in China. And It gets even more absurd. Pete Hegseth, the guy who apparently thinks Signal is like a secure filing cabinet of some kind, he shared Yemen's strike plans in a group chat that included his wife and his brother. We will get to that in a little bit. Read them. So now, classified or supposed
Eyes are still
to be
good from far away, just not up
military
close.
Operations.
I'm definitely farsighted.
To journalists, as we know from the Signalgate fiasco #1, Jeffrey Goldberg from The Atlantic, and then also family members over a group chat like it's a weekend barbecue plan. Who's bringing the who's bringing the zucchini? His response is nobody was texting war plans denial, where we start to wonder
also would be mine.
What is the definition
I as well
of
would
war
say the
plans
same thing.
Itself. So we got the chat
nobody
log
was texting
from Jeffrey
war
Goldberg.
plans.
There were indeed war plans there with timelines and everything. And then we now have a second Signal chat we're dealing with, which we will talk about in a moment. So right now, Pentagon insiders are saying what every single one of us is thinking and predicted for a long time, which is these are not competent people. There's a complete meltdown happening here. They simply are not able to do this job. The kicker is that this comes after Hegseth brought his Fox News producer wife into 2 foreign military meetings where classified information was discussed.
Guys, this is my wife. She'll be
Why?
here.
We just don't know. And now Donald Trump's inner circle is starting to put the pressure on to dump and flush Pete Hegseth, just like he did with Mark Esper.
I don't know why you guys are upset. I brought my wife. Okay, she's here. All right. Like, just deal with it. You guys, yeah, she brought cookies. Now, I'll be honest with you. If I'm in a meeting and Pete Hegseth's wife brings cookies, I'm going to allow it. I said it, okay? Hate me if you want, but I'm going to allow it, especially if they're chocolate chip.
James Mattis, Rex Tillerson, and all of these great patriots who were only patriotic up until the day at which they were unceremoniously axed and Trump's claim to be the best at hiring people went away. Now, Hegseth is incompetent, but the problem really is not only Pete Hegseth. This is what you get when you let a guy govern by cable news vibes. This is the logical endpoint of a president choosing cabinet officials based on whether they appear loyal on TV and suck up to Trump while sitting on that curved couch on Fox and Friends. Trump wanted loyalty and a TV presence. I guess he got it, but he also got with it a Pentagon that leaks like a sieve, a defense secretary under Inspector General investigation, and military operations texted to civilians.
Yeah, exactly. Mark, that's what I'm saying is like, Mark said 20-year veteran, 17 of it Army SIGs. If I did any of that, I'd be locked up for minimum 10 years per offense. And if I texted top secret stuff on my personal phone with my wife and brother, this is all that happens. Like, that's what I'm saying is like, the thing I hate probably the most about politics is this idea that you can just go, nuh-uh, nuh-uh. If you say nuh-uh, then it doesn't exist. It fucking drives me nuts. It's like, if somebody in Biden's administration were doing these things, I would be like, yo, we should probably, guys, this is a bad look. Can we fire that motherfucker? How about like, you guys don't want to put him in jail for long? How about like a couple years at least? 18 months? Fucking Roger Stone him? I don't know. Like, fucking pardon him later, but first you got to put that, something needs to happen to motherfucker. Like, what are you guys doing out there? And yet, like, we're just like, who cares? It's just his wife and his brother in a signal chat, fucking sharing national security secrets. Why is everybody so up in arms about it, brother? God, you guys are so triggered. It's fucking crazy. It's absolutely insane. $10, 5 alarm fire. Who do I send my 5 accomplishments to when Hegseth is fired? Probably Elon Musk. He's probably next. Wait, who do you guys think is the next one? Who do you guys think is the next one? God, that's a fuck. If Hegseth gets fired, do you guys, okay. My wild card is Trump doesn't want to deal with the shit anymore, actually puts a real general that he thinks will listen to him in there, but that won't. That's my wild card, okay? My wild card is that. My actual answer, you think he tries Matt Getz again? You think he just tries to fucking weasel Matt Getz in there for a second? How about B.A. Baracus? What? Hold on, guys. Hulk Hogan. That's my final answer. Actual answer. Donald Trump is going to replace Pete Hegseth with Hulk Hogan. Oh, wait. No. Not final answer. Not final answer. Sergeant Slaughter. Donald Trump thinks Sergeant Slaughter is capable of leading the American people to victory. Sergeant Slaughter. That's what I'm going with. Bill Maher? Oh, that's a good call. That's a good call, Bill Maher. I'm just saying Hulk Hogan's up there, but Sergeant Slaughter's probably the one. Roger Stone should be banished. The underworld allegedly, already his old ass needs to kick the bucket with both limp ass, decrepit legs. Dude, this fucking Who Framed Roger Rabbit looking ass. Kid Rock, Tinkerbell wins. Tinkerbell wins. Stop the presses. No more answers. It's over. It's over. Tinkerbell wins. Oh, Perry, that one's pretty good too, though. Captain America. Whew. Captain America. Kid Rock, though. I think Tinkerbell called it. Y'all think I'm joking. You think I'm joking. Fucking, when Donald Trump announces Kid Rock as the next fucking Secretary of Defense, right? That's what, is he Secretary of Defense, right? When that happens, you guys remember Peeker Bell called it, okay? You guys remember that.
Civilians, including the Secretary of Defense's own wife. So this is what the
Jesse
America
Ventura's
First strong administration looks like. Of course, this is what I would expect from a Reddit moderator with a Napoleon complex, not the American Secretary of Defense, but that's where we are. And the most dangerous part is that they continue to pretend that this is completely normal. If you're wondering why the Pentagon seems more like a failed reality show than a military institution right now, it's not an accident. This is the cost of turning Fox News costume parties into policymakers. And the rest of us, the civilians, and I'm including the service members in this as well, the whole world, we foot the bill. We end up terrified and humiliated. Yeah, and then why is Pete Hegseth's wife getting plans texted to her? Let's try to figure that out next.
Oh my God.
If you want to change your IP.
Why is Pete Hegseth, like, you guys thought it was bad enough when fucking Donald Trump had classified documents in his fucking bathroom. You didn't think that. Okay, you guys thought it. Once again, I'm behind the curve because I'm constantly the person that's like, well, you know, they set the bar pretty high. They can't go much further than this, right? Like, it can't get too much worse, right? Like, I'm the person that, like, believes, like, people for the most part recognize, like, that they live in a pretty good country, that even when we're, like, pissed off about stuff, it could be worse. Like, I'm that person, right? I'm like, yeah, you know, like, people talk about doing shit, but when it comes down to it, they don't really want to because they got too much shit. They got to go home and watch The Last of Us. They haven't caught up on Game of Thrones yet. You know, a new Black Mirror season just came out. Like, that's me. Like, I think that people overall will, like, succumb to, like, oh yeah, like, there's a lot of good shit. We shouldn't ruin this. And they just keep making it worse. Somehow. Like, I'm like, how do you top classified documents in your bathroom? And Pete Hegseth's like, what if I added my brother and my wife to a Signal chat where I talked about bombing terrorists? What about that? That's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. What the fuck are we doing? Oh my God, dude. I'm not sure about the country. I'm just not sure.
The address when watching or down.
Yeah, none of that. Okay. Thor! Yes! Thor is next. Oh, Thor is the next Secretary of Defense. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't say bar. Don't say bar. Everybody's gone. He's gone. Whiskey Leaks like, who said bar? It's not real life. I swear to God, this is a simulation, dude. It's like they turned up the difficulty on this game to fucking, like, hardcore. Like, they thought we were cruising through this shit. Whoever's in charge of the simulation, like, they're like, oh, these guys have gotten too good at this. We need to up the difficulty, guys. We need to up that difficulty. They're like, well, what's the next difficulty? We're already on hard. They're like, how about insane? Fucking, like, this wasn't in the rule book. Like, like, people are like, it's like Hitler. It's not like Hitler. Hitler was like fucking like evil and had a plan, and the motherfucker, like, you could see, you're like, holy shit, this guy's scary. This guy's trying to, like, actually, like, take over the world. Like, Donald Trump, you're like, I don't think he knows what the fuck he's even doing. Donald Trump just wakes up in the morning and he's like, I don't know, you know, let's tear off the world. And somebody's like, yeah, I guess that's not a bad idea. And they look at each other and they're like, that is a bad idea though, right? And they're like, yeah, but he don't like it when we tell him that's a bad idea. So let's just let that shit happen. And he's like, cool, all right, let's fucking start tariffing people. And then the stock market goes in the toilet and he's like, what the fuck, pal? And the two dudes next to him that know that he's fucking up is like, yeah, pal. Jesus Christ, you moron. Fuck, don't tell Trump that this is on him. Like, this is a different level of difficulty. With, like, a fucking, like, an evil genius, you're like, holy shit. Like, we got to do something. This is crazy. With Donald Trump, you're like, I don't know. He might just peter out. Like, tomorrow, he could literally eat one Big Mac too many. And then we look like the asshole when we start fucking civil war and some shit. Okay? Like, you can't even fucking, you can't respond to it because you're like, I can't take Steve Bannon seriously. Fuck. It's a different level of difficulty. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, let's, what are we watching now? We are watching Palantir, the new deep state. Because for those of you that know this, here, let's go, let's get out of video game mode. Because I want to talk about my book. Okay, all right. Which one? This one? Bam! For those of you who know, I did an interview with Clay Risen of the Red Scare. Or wrote the Red Scare. He wasn't part of the Red Scare. Clay Risen, New York Times journalist, historian. He's written some books about whiskey. Okay? If Hegseth has been watching this with his wife in the Signal chat, they just got excited because I said whiskey. You guys know that there are, in my opinion, a lot of parallels to be drawn between what happened during the Red Scare and what is happening today. I think that Donald Trump very much uses Joseph McCarthy's playbook. I mean, everything from calling into doubt the Voice of America, the news radio show, to, you know, insulting journalists and giving them insulting nicknames, crying fake news, hanging out with sleazy lawyers, claiming that people have done things without ever giving them any due process. I think all of this very much has parallels to be drawn with the Red Scare. And so part of it for me is that Hoover, though he wasn't a fan of McCarthy, always was happy with the results of what McCarthy was doing, right? Like, it allowed him to better get into people's business because he could justify using the FBI to go and take personal accounts of all these people. Once again, the hypocrisy of MAGA is just out of this fucking world. So now what you have, in my opinion, that replaces Hoover is Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, of course, owns Palantir, or is one of the people that owns Palantir. And Palantir, of course, is a database. I mean, it's more than a database, but the government uses them. Other business, Wendy's uses them to create these algorithms and stuff to identify pretty much what Elon Musk is doing in the government right now, right? Like using something like that, but a really dumb version of it, like the junior edition. Like, he didn't pay for the plus, okay? And I think that Palantir is actually like the next step towards losing more freedoms for Americans. I think that people are going to look at this like this Palantir relationship with Elon Musk, and they're going to be like, oh, well, you know what? It's not even that big a deal. Like, they're not going to be doing anything to American citizens, which is really fucking weird because they're the same people that think Edward Snowden should be, you know, allowed back in the country. Like, they think there's nothing wrong with what Edward Snowden did, but then they're going to also, in a completely hypocritical way, back Palantir. That's about to happen, just so you guys know. So anyways, I think that Palantir is the J. Edgar Hoover, and I do think that Palantir will be used to surveil American citizens, eventually find American citizens that disagree with Trump's lunacy, myself, content creators, media members, people that post memes. And I think that that's going to be something that you're going to see relatively soon because they're pushing this at a breakneck speed for a reason, right? That you're going to see this involvement, or maybe you won't see it because Palantir is an operation that works behind the scenes. But, you know, just like the IRS sharing information on immigrants and their taxes, because yes, immigrants do pay taxes. They're already doing that. So that's one way for them to find them. Palantir will be just another way for them to find them. And once again, just like during the Red Scare, there was no due process for a lot of these people that weren't convicted of crimes. They were just blacklisted and just like completely their lives were demolished. So even though they were never found guilty of committing a crime, they were legit outcast from society. And then some people obviously did get due process and were convicted of crimes against America, which was ridiculous. But anyways, let's watch. This is a video on that. This is from A More Perfect Union, and this is about Palantir, the deep state.
It's one thing to criticize your former employer. It's taboo.
It's giving very person of interest.
But to criticize an employer that also owns extremely lethal technologies and surveillance
Dude, I
technologies
almost bought
that are
Palantir
highly
stock.
invasive
I'm not gonna lie.
used in war zones is something else entirely.
It's 2025. We're all kind of used to government surveillance. The idea that we're all being watched all the time and don't own our own personal data has become normalized. We're also used to the military spending vast amounts of our money on just a few giant defense contractors. But one tech company wants to change both of those things
and become the ultimate military contractor and the ultimate arbiter of all of our data.
Palantir is here to disrupt and make the institutions we partner with the very best in the world, and when it's necessary, to scare enemies and on occasion kill them.
Check out Palantir shares surging 22% after the company cited a boom in demand for its AI software from the U.S. government.
We're doing it. We're doing it. And I'm sure you're enjoying this as much as I am.
Palantir, a tech company based here in Denver, claims they can revolutionize government systems with their data analysis software, newly powered by artificial intelligence.
They've been hired by the Department of Defense, the FBI, local police departments, and even the IRS and Wendy's to take in the information those organizations collect even more information, and use that data to draw conclusions.
It can be used to completely reconfigure organizations' ontology, its reality, what systems matter, what information matters, what processes matter, how they are structured, what biases are introduced at each of those stages.
We talked to a former Palantir employee, dug into decades of research, and listened to hours of Alex Karp's own words to unwrap the layers of Palantir's carefully cultivated sales pitch, how they capitalize on fear, uncertainty, and unrest.
I don't think in win-lose, I think in domination. This is a company built for bad times.
Why is it always like the
bad times mean strong finances internally? Bad times are very good for Palantir because we build products that are robust, that are built for danger.
Let's rewind a little.
Palantir's story starts with one of the most effective things a company can have for sales: fear.
After the September 11th attacks, the United States government began expanding surveillance both at home and abroad. This was, of course, a boon for the defense industry at large. Simultaneously, the Silicon Valley tech industry was growing fast and making people in a once obscure industry very, very rich, very, very quickly. Like the founders and executives at PayPal, known as the PayPal Mafia. Elon Musk, Reid Hoffman.
Once again, like the nerdiest shit ever. The PayPal Mafia. Like, bro. Dude, these guys need to encounter some real mafia people so that way this shit can actually get handled. Somebody needs some fucking cement boots.
The LinkedIn guy and Peter Thiel.
He might
when
actually
PayPal was sold, Thiel had
LinkedIn
millions
guy might
of dollars burning a hole in his pocket.
These two, maybe not so much.
PayPal had developed systems for detecting fraud and crimes on the platform. What if they could use similar thinking to analyze the world at large? So Thiel pulled from his network to build out a new company. One of the first hires was Thiel's Stanford Law School roommate, Alex Karp, who'd gone on after Stanford to get a PhD in not business or computer science or engineering, but neoclassical social theory. Yep. They named the company Palantir, after the Palantiri from J.R.R. Tolkien's Lord of the Rings.
In Lord of the Rings, a Palantir stone is a magical object that allows its users to predict the future or to see what's going on in a remote location.
It was originally created by the elves. It was meant to be used for good purposes.
You like how he says that shit? It was meant to be used for good purposes. Like, he's like straight up like, we're not gonna, but you know, just like in the movie, it was meant for good purposes, but we're not gonna do that. God damn it.
It is potential.
This motherfucker looks like an evil elf. Look at him. He's an evil elf. Look at his ass. Oh my God. What are we doing? What is this fucking... Why are we letting people like this take over? Why is this dude in charge? And for you guys out there, you're like, Peter Thiel's not in charge, bro. It's Donald Trump. Yeah, you're wrong. It's okay. I recognize that, like, you know, the last 2 brain cells in your brain are rubbing together real fucking hard to get a thought out. But these are the people that are in charge. In fact, at this point, the only thing probably keeping these fuckers from taking over, I actually might have to give Donald Trump some credit here, is Donald Trump's idiocy might be the only thing that's stopping these guys from actually fucking taking over. Because they're probably like, okay, we need to influence this guy to get out and do this. What, he's at another press conference? He's golfing again? Okay, so can somebody get him back in here? He said he just won his 5th championship in a row? He's on social media again? Where is Elon Musk at? Elon Musk is tweeting some chick about having his child? How about Pete Hegseth? He's in a Signal chat with his wife and his brother. What the fuck, guys? We're trying to take over the world! God.
Used for good purposes. It is potentially very dangerous technology. It's very powerful.
Petey is a free elf! He's a Nosferatu!
So that's Middle-earth, but what does Palantir do in a
This guy looks like a good elf.
And what we do is we use what legal scholars call predicate-based search. So we would look at you, and then we would go out and say, oh, there's lots of different things in your life that may be indicative of someone involved in bad behavior.
Put simpler, they make software.
Yeah, don't be scared, dude. I'm just using you as an example. It's not like I looked up all the stuff about you before we had this interview. I would never do that. So did you want to go to Five Guys? Because I know you really, really like Five Guys. Maybe we should go check it out. I know that you like to get a number 2 with a Pepsi.
That makes it easier for their customers to collect and analyze data. And then act on that analysis with and without AI. By 2013, 10 years after their founding, Palantir's client list included the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, the Marines, the Air Force, Special Operations Command, and more.
Did your company help to track and kill Osama bin Laden?
You know, we can never. I'll tell you, the closest thing to an answer is there are when you look at the
okay, anybody that does that, you know, I would like to answer that, but you know what I would like to say is, you know, when we talk about, it's like, holy shit, dude, just fucking, like, we know what you're trying to say without saying it. You want to be like, yes, I was a nerd. Yes, I have never touched boobs in my entire life. But did the computer program that I created result in the loss of someone's life? Yeah, I did that. I'm pretty big on 4chan, just so you guys know.
When you open the paper and look in the news about these kind of things, there's a 2/3 chance,
it's exactly
depending on the country involved,
that's not even
somehow
a joke,
my
Susie.
company
That's
was
exactly
involved.
what
Fundamentally,
Doge is
the
doing.
mission that is pushed to employees is that we're solving the world's hardest problems and supporting Western institutions. That is the main driver of sort of this militaristic culture that is developed inside of Palantir.
If you do not feel comfortable supporting...
Once again, remember, these are the people that said that Donald Trump's an anti-war president. All of these people were like, you like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris because they fund wars in Ukraine, bro. Like, they're corrupt. They're sending weapons over there, and Ukraine is selling them on eBay, bro. Meanwhile, this is their fucking dude. This jackass right here who's literally like, yeah, I love that our fucking computer software is used to murder people in other countries. Like, that's the guy that all of these hypocrites are like, you guys are Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, the most pro-war presidents that have ever fucking been alive, man. Yeah, this is who they support.
The legitimate efforts of America and its allies in the context of war, don't join Palantir.
This entire message of, like, we are the most lethal, we are the most able to surveil and process large amounts of data.
You have created the system which you call kill
Me and you both golf.
Privately. Publicly, the lawyers have some innocuous So something like tech for the amelioration of unwanted blah blah blah. Some term we're supposed to use.
Okay, let's.
For me, it's the kill chain.
Kill chain sounds good.
Kill chain is.
Yeah. Once again, you guys like the pro-war candidate. You like the pro-war candidate. He's like, I like the term kill chain. They like to use other words, but me, myself, I really, really enjoy using the term kill chain. Can I just say kill chain a couple more times? Because I really like saying kill chain.
Isn't an original term created by Palantir. It's the more general military verbiage for the series of decisions leading from identifying a target to taking their life. Palantir's contract added their software and artificial intelligence to the kill chain.
It's quicker and better and safer
that's
and
good.
more violent.
Let's add AI
It's
to the
tech
kill
that
chain.
Juan helped market.
It reduces the distance you have to the problem, but when you're able to take a step back and really see all the narratives and how they were shaped and the actual application of these technologies, your whole world starts falling apart, which is something that, definitely happened to me.
Juan didn't leave Palantir entirely for ethical reasons. He just got another job. But the reason he eventually started speaking out against Palantir came after watching the Israeli invasion of...
That's kind of cold, actually. They didn't need to call the man out like that. They're like, he didn't have any moral quandaries with using AI to take out people half the world away. He just got a better job offer. Like, dog. Damn, this man came on your show to give like some super secret information on Palantir, and you guys did him like that. They're like, he just got a really good job offer from Wendy's.
of Gaza following the October 7th attacks. Palantir has contracts with the Israeli Defense Forces. The exact nature of the contracts is opaque, intentionally, but there is evidence to suggest that Palantir's artificial intelligence tech was used for selecting targets in Gaza. CARP doesn't mind the controversy. In fact, it's part of the marketing.
Palantir will even pick up the projects that other companies rejected for political reasons.
We are very comfortable being unpopular.
CARP doesn't think controversy will lose Palantir customers.
Jesus Christ.
Whatever is pissing them off, they're still buying the product.
Wendy's hired Palantir to help with their supply chain. Palantir works with health insurance companies to build AI.
Hold on, was that United Healthcare?
Whatever is pissing them off, they're still buying the product.
Wendy's hired Palantir to help with their supply chain. Palantir works...
I guess it doesn't say, huh? Industry leader in revenue cycle management with over 20 years experience in Palantir Technologies, a leader in the artificial... I wonder if this is the AI that United Healthcare was using
with health insurance companies to build AI for denials management to protect revenue.
I wonder if this is.
Do you want Palantir's AI
because in that United
decisions about
Healthcare
what
thing,
care is covered for you and your loved ones?
They also do business with for-profit hospitals, major investment banks, and even other defense contractors. In 2024, Palantir brought in nearly $2.9 billion in revenue, 55% of which came from government sources, with the vast majority being American. So let's look at their pitch to the American government. Last year, Palantir CTO Sham Sankar put out a presentation and white paper called The Defense Reformation. He cites The Last Supper, which was a secretive 1993 meeting between defense industry executives and the Deputy Secretary of Defense. Over a dozen companies walked in, and only a few walked out. That dinner is often cited as the origin of our consolidated military-industrial complex.
And to me, I think this was
Look
the
at that.
definitive
Look at all
moment
those companies
that
that
kicked
got
off the
consolidated
financialization
into
of defense. From that point forward, it became all about buybacks and dividends and leverage ratios.
Criticizing.
What's that? Master Liberty, you are being raided. Hand over all of the cash. I'm sorry, googly eye. There's no cash, bro. Thank you for the raid, but disappointingly so, there is no cash here, my friends. I'm really sorry about that. But if you guys hang out long enough, there's gonna be some really bad jokes. So you guys can hang out for the bad jokes, but unfortunately, I'm waiting for the cash too. So if you guys find any cash, if you could let me know about it, we'll split that shit 50-50. Thanks for being over there on Twitch, guys.
Financialization of the defense industry.
I appreciate my
calling
Twitch
out stock
viewers over
buybacks.
there.
That doesn't sound like a defense executive. That sounds
You
more
love bad
like
jokes?
the
Came to the
exact
right
argument
place.
about the defense industry that we have made before.
I think what's interesting to me about Palantir is how they co-opt the language of revolution.
But Sankar's argument did work on somebody, Uncle Sam. The Defense Innovation Board, an advisory group within the Department of Defense,
Good job, guys.
cited Sankar's presentation multiple times in their 2024 report on why the DoD needs to divert more of their budget to emerging technology. That's giving money to Palantir. There's a
giving
reason
money to Elon
Palantir
Musk.
just replaced Ford Motors in the S&P 100 in the months after Trump was elected. The Trump administration is an ideal customer for what Palantir
No
is
connection,
selling.
guys.
First, there are many former Palantir employees sprinkled across the Trump administration, from inside Doge to foreign policy advisors to high-level technology appointees. And Palantir co-founder Peter
Taco
Thiel,
Bell lobby
heavily
added.
invested in the company, is also heavily invested in President Trump and Vice President Vance. He was a major campaign donor to both.
Yeah, like I said, so this is the line you draw. You've got McCarthy, you've got Roy Cohn, Donald Trump, you got Donald Trump, Roger Stone. So you got the connections of the Red Scare and McCarthyism. And then you've got, on the other side of that, the technology side of that, you've got Peter Thiel, who's connected to Curtis Yarvin. Curtis Yarvin being the reduce all government employees. America needs to get over their fear of dictatorship guy. The guy on April 7th, 2022 wrote that Donald Trump will not be a real president. He will elect a CEO to do the job for him while he's a TV president that gives speeches and goes to events. You've got Curtis Yarvin connected to Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel connected to J.D. Vance. And then J.D. Vance, obviously Donald Trump's fucking vice president. It's like, I don't want to be this guy that just sits up here all the time and is like, you guys don't get it. You know, I'm the fucking Always Sunny in Philadelphia guy, like, fucking, you guys don't see the connections. But when you look at everything that they have done so far, using algorithms, which is what Palantir does, right? To find things in databases, to delete them. Like I said, I understand Elon Musk used the fucking beta version, but it seems as though that's what he's doing. You have Elon Musk, the CEO for Donald Trump, running around doing all this shit while Donald Trump goes to Daytona and the Super Bowl and gives speeches and fucking holds up big-ass boards with tariffs on them. Numbers are too goddamn high. Like, it fucking seems like all of this shit is actually happening. And if you understand Curtis Yarvin's whole point of view, burning down the government, crashing the stock market, destroying the infrastructure of our country is all in the plan. It's all in the plan. It is like, I don't know. Maybe I'm going crazy.
The stated goal of Doge is to streamline and combine
Wendy's is
government
trash.
data,
Damn.
which is exactly
Wendy's is taking
what
strays.
Palantir does.
The ways that the government is defrauded is that the computer systems don't talk to each other.
And obviously, Karp is loving it.
Disruption, at the end of the day, exposes things that aren't working. There'll be ups and downs. There's a revolution. Some people can get their heads cut off.
Dude, I did not pre-watch. Did not pre-watch. Fucking tell me that these people aren't like all doing this shit on purpose. Tell me that they're not actually just fucking like destroying the country because they think that the whole goddamn infrastructure needs to be burnt to the ground so that way they can get control because they think that they are the future of humankind. All of these dudes with hair like that. You can't trust people with hair, period, to be honest with you. Oh, you can only trust bald people. Well, not skinheads.
Like, you know, it's
Don't
like
trust those ones.
we're expecting to see really unexpected things and to win.
And what is winning, according to Palantir? This is CTO Shyam Sankar in 2021.
Turning to government, we continue to advance our mission of becoming the U.S. government's central operating system as we extend our footprint across defense, healthcare, and civilian agencies.
The government's operating system. They want everything to funnel through Palantir. Palantir already has contracts with the IRS, going through taxpayer data to save auditors time by finding the easiest audits to pursue. Now, Wired reports, DOGE will likely hire Palantir to create unified software for the entire IRS, a mega API that would allow anyone with access to view and possibly alter all IRS data in one place.
Oh, and I didn't watch that video with you guys. There's a video of this dude on MSNBC or something like that, that he was fired from the National Relations Board, or he resigned, one or the other. But he shows in this chart that shows like outgoing data from the NLRB, and generally they don't have any outgoing data. And he shows on this chart this gigantic spike during the time that Doge is there. And he said Doge removed certain protections that normally keep foreign countries from interfering in our shit. And during their time there, after that they had removed that, there's this huge spike in the information. We'll have to watch that video at some point, because this dude, like, he like literally says that, like, that was while they're there, and all of a sudden this shit happened. Once again, like, I don't want to be a fucking conspiracy theorist up here. I want to just fucking talk about policy. I want to talk about how we can fix the immigration system. You know, pro-life versus pro-choice, whether taxation is theft or not. It is. I don't want to sit here and go down these routes, but it seems like they're doing all this shit, dude. It seems like they're doing all this shit.
That's all of your financial information. And they have multiple contracts with the Department of Health and Human Services, including nearly $100 million to support HHS's core administrative data and applications, to manage, ingest, and access data securely across business domains. HHS's core responsibility is Medicare and Medicaid. That's control over millions of Americans' health records and their access to healthcare. So what does it mean for one contractor to have all that power, data, and taxpayer money as profit, especially as AI gets involved?
As we kind of increasingly live in a simulated world, we lose touch with reality and the human decisions that matter, and we move closer towards governance by algorithm. Not only made by decisions
governance
of
by
automated
algorithm.
Artificial intelligence systems,
Jesus
which is
Christ.
a problem, but more importantly, subject to decisions made by the people who are influencing these AI systems and creating them.
Dude, governance by algorithm. You know how bad that sounds? You're like, fucking, we're all getting deported. God damn it. Do you know what it's like? I mean, already minorities know what the fuck it's like, okay? And if your ass is white and you think you're going to get out of this shit and you're going to be fine, oh, man, do I have fucking news for you. Jesus Christ, man. Do you know what's going to happen when they start governing by algorithm? They're like, the algorithm says that you've spent too much time at Wendy's. You have been hanging out down at Wendy's way too long. The algorithm has picked it up and decided to send you to the terrorist prison in El Salvador. Governance by algorithm.
In order to fulfill an agenda
Oh
for whatever
my God.
their profit-seeking,
President
control-seeking
Ex Machina.
objectives are. And when I see Doge
The
kind of going
algorithm
into
is
every
always
agency
hungry.
and addressing
God damn it,
the
guys.
IT department first, I see it as an
They
opportunity
then gave Russia
to
the username
try to
and
change
password.
reality itself.
But so what? Why am I
quite
telling you
like
all
what would
this?
happen.
Palantir has no problem being seen as Big Brother, as all-powerful, as lethal even.
We're at the brink of using these technologies potentially
Yeah,
to,
it's the same shit they
to
used.
run
They
our
talked about
government,
China. Every
to run our
fucking
battlefields
accusation is a confession.
and our personal lives. Using artificial intelligence as a sort of panacea solution across our federal departments, and especially when they're, again, wielded by people with a very distinct agenda, puts
Dude, the
everyone
way
at
he
risk.
says that.
It almost feels like that's been the plan all along. Here's co-founder Peter Thiel in 2010 at
Jesus.
Libertopia, a libertarian
Libertopia!
conference, speaking about tech companies and government.
The basic idea was that we could never win an election on on getting certain things because we were in such a small minority. But maybe you could actually unilaterally change the world without having to constantly convince people and beg people and plead with people who are never going to agree with you through technological means. And this is where I think technology is this incredible alternative to politics.
And here's Alex Karp in 2009 on civil liberties with regards to Palantir's work.
The central question, in my view, of civil liberties is how, it's not if the government has data, because let's assume the government has as much data as a health insurance company. It's how is that data being used? Is it being used in a way that's lawful? Meaning, do they have the right to use it? And is it being migrated into places it's not allowed to be used? We allow the enforcement of rules that the government ought to enforce. And by the way, my experience...
Dude, Jay, Livertopia sounds like a place I'd like to go hang out. I mean, that sounds like they probably have good drinks.
...is they want to enforce, or at the very least know they need to enforce. And if it's framed in that way, then you can have, what is the ultimate Silicon Valley solution.
One co-founder openly wants to use the power of the tech industry to affect politics. The other wants his company to have oversight over how the government data they're paid to handle is used. And the founders of Palantir will retain control in the company no matter what, through an obscure ownership structure. Their Class F shares grant them 49.99% of voting power, even if they collectively own as little as 6% of the company.
What?
At the start of this journey, I was extremely afraid for the repercussions of this writing, of speaking out, but now I'm like...
Dude, I've been saying it. Technocracy. Yep, just like you said. Technocracy. What is it? Cyber libertarianism, techno-feudalism, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The hippies met with the techno-oligarchs in Silicon Valley. You know, how long ago? In the 70s. And ever since then, it's been on a path to this weird-ass future that involves a bunch of dudes that never touched boobs in high school being in charge now. And we are in so much goddamn trouble. The AI overlords are going to be in charge of algorithming us out of existence while Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and the dude with the weird hair fucking jerk off to rockets exploding in the air. We are in so much trouble, guys. Oh my God.
You know, even more convinced that this is absolutely necessary.
We can't replace our current broken system with an even more broken one. And we can't let the worst people in Silicon Valley become our government.
Yeah, you know, you say that.
It's not about whether you're actually at risk
you say that.
for speaking out or not. It's just the idea that somebody's watching you is enough to push people into silence.
Yeah, except for me. They're like, nothing's stopping this idiot.
Are more powerful than Elon Musk.
Let's go, Bernie! Let's go, Bernie!
Then you have no idea who you're up against.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support more nonprofit reporting into corporate greed, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let us know in the comments what you'd like to see us cover next.
Yeah, there's not going to be a lot to cover after all of this. Oh my God. Oh. I just fucking, what do we want to say to this shit, man? Like, it doesn't seem like they're hiding any of this. It just seems like they're just like, yeah, this is what we're doing. And people are like, I don't really have a problem with it as long as you give me $1,200 from the fucking Doge savings. Like, as long as I get my stimulus, bro, it's all good. Like, my faith in humanity just continues to fucking plummet like the stock market, all right? Like, we are in the red every day when it comes to my faith in humanity right now. Like, what are we doing when fucking rich billionaires wave $1,200 of your own money in front of your face, which will be taxed by the government, that you will literally just pay back in the future. But you're like, yeah, but I get the $1,200 now and I can buy a flat screen TV with that shit, brother. And maybe get a pizza too. Oh, shit, I'm going to get me a 2-liter Pepsi. Do they have 2 liters anymore? I never see 2 liters anymore. Like, that's how fucking easy it is. They're just like, somebody said at one point, somebody had to have stood up and been like, hey, guys, this ain't going to work. And they're like, what the fuck you mean it's not going to work? And they're like, people are going to rise up as soon as they see that this is what we're doing. They're like, what do you mean as soon as they see it? Like, yeah, we can't hide it from them forever. Oh, we ain't going to hide shit. What are you talking about? Hide it. We're going to do it right in front of their faces. And then when these people start jumping up and getting excited, we're going to wave a $1,200 check in front of their face and they're going to shut the fuck up. Like, that's literally what's happening right now. These guys are like, I want to take over this country. And people are like, whoa, hey, don't do that. And they're like, calm down, here's $1,200. And they're like, oh, shit, actually, you know what? Look, actually, like, these guys are pretty cool. Shit. Biden never gave me $1,200. Actually, he gave you like fucking $1,600. I gave you like fucking $3,000. No, he didn't. He sucked. He was terrible. God damn it. We need the Pope back. Someone go get the Pope. We can't have that man dying right now. This is the wrong time. We need all the fucking people, all the good people we can get. We can't have the Pope dying, dude. Somebody like fucking, I don't know, do some necromancy shit. Some Weekend at Bernie shit. Like, just be like, haha, fake news. Just kidding. Look, he's alive. Somebody stick their hand up the Pope's ass and fucking talk like a ventriloquist. What was that guy's name? Jeffrey Dunning? I don't think that's his real name, but it's close enough. Somebody go get that guy. We need his help. Jesus Christ. Oh. A cockwort orange. That's a good one. That's a good one. Somebody get fucking Buff Korean Jesus. I think we need to bring... Okay, we're bringing Buff Korean Jesus back in. You like that it's the only thing in my tab now? We're bringing Buff Korean Jesus back in. This is what we need right here, guys. Somebody get a hold of the creator of Buff Korean Jesus. Does anybody know who created Buff Korean Jesus? Does anybody know? If you know the creator of Buff Korean Jesus, we need his help. If they know Buff Korean Jesus as well, we could use his help too. Let's read those comments one more time. This is gold. He turned water into whey. Okay? This is my favorite. And he spake unto Thomas and did say, dost thou even move tombstones, my brother? God. Oh, it's amazing. He turned water into fine. Definitely did CrossFit. That's an underrated comment. I didn't get it. It took me a minute to fucking get... He did CrossFit. Like, I didn't laugh the first time. I was like, it's funny, yeah, because he's ripped. I didn't get the cross joke. Oh, Buff Korean Jesus. He's our only hope. I'm not a religious person, but I might actually start worshiping Buff Korean Jesus at this point, guys. Hold on. What is it? This is not accurate. This is how Jesus looked. Dude. That's in our Catholic memes. Hold on. Can we go into this one? I'm always careful to what I'm clicking on here, especially on Reddit. You never know where you're going on Reddit. Hold on. Let me go back into this. So I got to make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. You guys seeing what I'm seeing? You seeing what I'm seeing? All right, good. You guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Well, he does carry the weight of all of our sins, so you'd imagine he'd need quite the arms for that. The Lord has bared his holy arm in the sight of the nations, from the prophecy of Isaiah. Probably not the arm of a 99-pound weakling. Probably right. Also, look at that. Holy shit, is that David? Wait, what was the dad's name? It wasn't David, it was Joseph, right? Is that Joseph? Joseph, looking pretty dope. Looking cut. Those are big arms. Look at he's vascular. Fucking Joseph was pretty ripped, guys. He obviously not ripped enough. I'm going to say probably a problem with size because obviously his wife slept with somebody else. So, I mean, that's canon, okay? Let's see. If we go by the assumption that Jesus had a perfect 9 months of gestation in the Blessed Mother's womb, like some early church fathers did, we should also assume he was a perfect manifestation of the male human body. Thus, he would have had the perfect height, fat, and muscle ratios. Oh my God. This is some stoicism right here. Talk about muscular Christianity. The Last Supper was pure protein. I doubt a spear could have pierced those abs. God, this is amazing. Stop it. Destroy this temple, and in 3 days, I'll be back. Oh, Jesus. My body is a temple, and I will make of it a cathedral to glorify his name. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, God. It's our only chance, guys. Buff South Korean Christ is the only chance we have, guys. It's the only chance. That's it. The original CrossFit. No, that's buff Korean, South Korean Jesus. It's not even Thor. If Thor has to fight that guy... Okay, hold on. And I told you guys Thor's my god, okay? Because my god can kick your god's ass. If that's your god, I think Thor might have an issue. Now, if Thor takes him to the ground, Thor, I think, wins. Because I think Thor's got pretty good ground and pound, right? Like, if Thor gets South Korean Jesus with a double leg at the beginning of the fight... But he doesn't get, like there's a good chance that South Korean Jesus comes off like Street Jesus did in his fight against Ben, okay? So if he comes in hard, if South Korean Jesus comes with a flying knee as Thor comes in for the double leg right off the bat as the bell rings, there's a good chance that South Korean Jesus wins that fight. But I'm pretty sure if Thor gets a double leg on South Korean Jesus and then methodically, now I do mean this, he's got to be very careful. If he methodically works his way up from the legs to the mount position above South Korean Jesus and while raining down elbows and hard fists to South Korean Jesus' chin while avoiding the crown of thorns, Thor wins it. Like, I'm not gonna say Thor takes a TKO in the first round, but I'm thinking, maybe unanimous decision. Okay? But I'll tell you this, if Thor tries to stand with South Korean Jesus, I'm gonna bet that South Korean Jesus has some pretty good leg kicks. That man had some strong quads. I mean, Saquon Barkley, still bigger quads than South Korean Jesus. Okay? That's just, those are fucking facts. You guys got to deal with that shit, all right? Saquon has the biggest quads that have ever existed. Okay? But other than that, South Korean Jesus looking pretty strong. He's our only hope, guys. He's our only hope. Okay. Speaking of, hate to bring you guys back down. We were on a high note there, but as you guys can see with Ezra Klein looking at us with those eyeballs that he's looking at us with right there, that look on Ezra Klein's face is we're all fucked. That's what that right there, if a person ever sits across from you and looks at you like that, that's the look of we are so cooked. We are so cooked. So this is, the emergency is here from the Ezra Klein show. Somebody said in the comments of this video, when Ezra Klein starts panicking, you know we're cooked. And I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. Oh, I skipped all the way to the middle.
The emergency is here. The crisis is now. It's not 6 months away. It's not another Supreme Court ruling from happening. Sorry, it is happening now. Maybe not to you, not yet, but to others, to real people whose names we know, whose stories we know. The President of the United States is disappearing people to an El Salvadoran prison for terrorists.
Hey, don't make me laugh during this.
A prison known by its initials, CCOT. A prison built for disappearance. A prison where there is no education or remediation or recreation, because it is a prison that does not intend to release its inhabitants back out into the world.
Dude, I don't know if he's about to talk about this, but I heard that they don't even allow them to talk. Like, I heard that they have to sit there. There's no pillows, no blankets. It's like metal fucking beds. Now, look, you're not going to catch me making excuses for fucking gnarly ass, like, people that have raped women or hurt children or, punch old people in the face on the street. Like, you're never going to catch me making excuses for any of that shit, right? Like, you guys know that I've said it before. When it comes to, the prison system, it shouldn't be for profit. When it comes to our educational system, it shouldn't be for profit. When it comes to, certain humanitarian needs, it should never be for profit, right? Like, I'm 100% against the way that we run our prison system, but I also, at the same time, understand that there are people within our society and other societies that can't exist for any number of reasons in our society and still be able to live a normal life. Like, they're just not capable. And I've also said that before, that one of the ways that we help to keep these things from happening is by injecting money into impoverished communities, because a rising tide lifts all boats. But this seems fucking insane. Like, you have to sit on a metal bed with 30 other crazy ass looking dudes. You're not allowed to talk. You get no blanket. You get no fucking free time. You get no pillow. It's like, if these dudes bust out of that prison, we are all in big trouble. Because those dudes, they know a little something about adversity. And if they can survive that shit, holy, if they get out, we are done.
It is a prison where the only way out, in the words of El Salvador's Justice Minister, is in a coffin.
Jesus
Homeland
Christ.
Security Secretary Kristi Noem visited the most notorious prison in the Americas to drum up some support for the Trump administration to put hundreds of men there without a trial.
First of all, do not come to our country illegally. You will be removed and you will be prosecuted. But know that this facility...
this shit is nuts. It's nuts, dude. That shit is nuts. That be fucking taking photo ops there. Also, you know what? I saw this on a meme. Somebody asked the question, if we're going after fucking all these crazy criminals, why aren't any of them Aryan Nation people? I grew up with the NLR, right? Nazi lowriders. They're one of the most violent criminal gangs in the country. The NLR is. There's no Nazi lowriders that are getting put in these prisons. There's no Nazi lowriders being... Now, mind you, I shouldn't say that out loud, because Donald Trump's probably that's actually a good test case. We should probably actually, if we throw a couple white people in there, they might let this one go through, and then we can set a precedent. I should probably keep that to myself. I'm just saying, it seems to only be brown people. For a bunch of people that are constantly saying, yo, we ain't racist, it seems like they do a lot of racist shit. I'm just throwing it out there. I'll let y'all decide.
is one of the tools in our toolkit that we will use if you commit crimes against the American people.
On Monday, President Trump said in the Oval Office, in front of the eye of the cameras, sitting next to El Salvador's president, President Bukele, that he would like to do this to U.S. citizens as well.
That's what I was
I'd
talking
like to go
about.
a step further. I said it to Pam. I don't know what the laws are. We always have to obey the laws, but we also have homegrown criminals.
Why do we need El Salvador's prisons? We have prisons here. But for the Trump administration, El Salvador's prisons are the answer to the problem of American law. The Trump administration holds the view that anyone they send to El Salvador is beyond the reach of American law. They've been disappeared not just from our country, but from our
We
system.
can't do anything about it.
And from any protection or process that our system affords.
They're great facilities, very strong facilities, and they don't play games.
In our prisons, prisoners can be reached by our lawyers, by our courts, by our mercy. In El Salvador, they cannot.
Oh, you knew some
Let me tell
NLRJ?
you one of their names,
Yeah.
one of their
Some
stories, as
insane
best we know
people.
it. Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia is from El Salvador. His mother, Cecilia, ran a pupuseria in San Salvador. A local gang, Barrio 18, began extorting the business, demanding monthly and then weekly payments. If the family didn't pay, Barrio 18 threatened to murder Kilmar's brother, Cesar, or rape their sisters. Eventually, Barrio 18 demanded Cesar join their gang, at which point the family sent Cesar to America. Then Barrio 18 demanded the same of Kilmar, and Kilmar, at age 16, was sent to America too. This was around 2011. This is what we mean when we say he entered illegally. A 16-year-old fleeing the only home he's ever known, afraid for his life. Abrego Garcia's life here just seems to have been a life, not an easy one. He lived in Maryland. He worked in construction. He met a woman named
Talia, I saw
Jennifer, a
that.
US
I saw that, Talia.
She had 2 children from a past relationship. One is epilepsy, the other autism. In 2019, they had a child together.
I told
That
you,
child
y'all can't let me
is
let me
deaf
laugh
in one
during
ear
this
and
video.
also has autism.
Stop it.
Jennifer was pregnant in 2019. On the day, Abrego
It's gonna
Garcia
look
dropped
bad.
one kid
Hey,
off at
clip this
school, dropped the other off with a babysitter, and drove to Home Depot to try to find construction work. He was arrested for loitering outside Home Depot, asked if he was a gang member. He said no, and he's put into ICE detention. The story gets stranger from here. About 4 hours after he's picked up, and that appears to be the first contact he's ever had with local police,
pupusas.
a detective produces an allegation, citing a confidential informant, that Abrego Garcia is actually a gang member. Abrego Garcia has no criminal record, not one here, not one in El Salvador.
Right?
He was accused, strangely, of being part of a gang that operates in New York, a state that he has never lived in. Whoever produced the allegation, they were never cross-examined. And when Abrego Garcia's attorney tried to get more information, he was told that the detective behind the accusation had been suspended, and the officers in the gang unit would not speak to him. Abrego Garcia's partner, Jennifer, said she was, quote, shocked when the government said he should stay detained because Kilmar is an MS-13 gang member. Kilmar is not and has never been a gang member, I'm certain of that. In June of 2019, while Abrego Garcia was still detained, he and Jennifer got married, exchanging rings to an officer separated by a pane of glass. Later that year, a judge ruled that Abrego Garcia could not be deported back to El Salvador because he might be murdered by Barrio 18.
Oh, I made a mistake.
That his fear was credible. Abrego Garcia was then set free. Each year since then, he has checked in with immigration authorities. He's been employed as a sheet metal apprentice. He's a member of the local union. He was studying.
Yeah, and I'm just going to point this out again. This is not like I grew up with gangs, dog. This dude ain't like some kind of nasty gang member. Like, if you would have tried to convince me he was like a 33rd Street Blood or some shit like that, like an East Sider or something, like, I might have been like, maybe that dude might have, done it back in the day when he was a kid or something like that. But you're not going to convince me this dude is MS-13, bro. He's not an MS-13. Like, I grew up around all of that shit. Like I said, I left a comment on somebody's tweet that said, y'all didn't grow up around gangs and it shows. And, I also said, like, for any of you that don't know, an informant's, his information is about as useful as well-chewed bubble gum. Like, that shit's got no quality. It's worthless, right? Like, very rarely are informants actually something that, like, you can go off of to, like, prosecute somebody. And they didn't prosecute the dude. They didn't prosecute him for anything. They didn't find him guilty of being MS-13. That's not how shit works. What they decided was that there was a potential that he might have been MS-13 because of this informant, because of this detective, and therefore they denied him bond. If they thought that he was like legit an MS-13 member, that judge would have never said, okay, we're going to protect you, and even though we're not going to allow you citizenship, you can stay here without fear of deportation. That's not how any of this shit fucking works, man. Like, these people have no goddamn idea of what an MS-13 member would look like. And even if you did, even if you wanted to, even if you said, you want to say, you're protecting this dude, but really, at the end of the day, he's a horrific human being. Then you need to prove that. If he is as despicable of a human being as you say he is, if he's this nasty, gnarly gang member like you claim he is, then prove it. Then take that shit to court and show that he is. It shouldn't be that fucking hard. If he's that bad, if you've got all this evidence, I don't give a shit. If you bring this dude back, you put him on trial, you show that he was a human trafficking MS-13 member that beats his wife, that was a thug, a terrible person, I will 100% get on this show and go, all right, legit. You know what? The America's a safer place he's not here. Now that he's had due process. But first, he needs to have that due process. Because if you aren't willing to give him that due process in the first place, then I'm going to say you're full of shit. Because nothing about this entire fucking story seems to be checking out. Not a goddamn thing. The only thing that's checking out is that this administration said, oops, we made a mistake. And yeah, it turns out, yeah, you did. You made a mistake. That's the only thing that seems to be checking out.
For vocational license at University of Maryland. There is no evidence anywhere offered by anyone that is suggested Abrego Garcia poses a threat to anyone in this country. But on March 12th, Abrego Garcia was pulled over while driving, his 5-year-old in the backseat. He was told his immigration status had changed. On March 15th, in defiance of the 2019 court ruling, Abrego Garcia was flown to El Salvador and imprisoned at CCOT as a terrorist. It was a mistake.
The Trump administration is now acknowledging they wrongly deported an immigrant to that notorious prison in El Salvador, calling it
an administrative error.
An administrative error.
Clerical error. It was an administrative error.
Mistakenly deporting a Maryland father.
This so-called administration error has destroyed my family's happiness, my children's innocence.
I want to read to you from the editorial of the National Review, probably the country's leading conservative magazine. Here is the first sentence. The court fight over Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia is a most unusual one, in that no one denies that the government violated the law in deporting him. No one denies.
If the Supreme Court said bring somebody back, I would do that. I respect the Supreme Court.
This case has made its way to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ordered that the administration, quote, facilitate Abrego Garcia's release from custody in El Salvador and ensure that his case is handled as it would have been had he not been improperly sent to El Salvador.
You know the dumbest thing about that Photoshop with the MS-13 thing too is that, like, you'll say like, oh, okay, well, obviously it's Photoshopped. Everybody's going to know that, right? Like, you're like, of course, everybody's going to see that and know, like, oh, no shit. Like, of course, like that dude, oh, my people are dying. But you can't say that with these people. You can't. Like, there's going to be some old-ass white man that's like, he had MS-13 tattooed on his knuckles, and you're going to be like, no, what you saw was Donald Trump trying to say, like, oh, he had MS-13 on his knuckles, but in reality, they were trying to, like, fucking do some, like, straight-up puzzle-solving shit of, like the M is for marijuana, and the smiley face means S, and the cross means 1, and the skull means 3, which doesn't make any goddamn sense in the first place. But it's enough to, like, so you get, what you do is you get those people that are willing to believe that what Trump is assuming those tattoos mean, and then you get some dumbass that's like, no, it said MS-13 actually across the top of his knuckles above the skull and stuff like that. Because that's how these people are. There are enough people that will just straight up believe that shit. They'll just straight up be like, no, it says MS-13. So even for like people like me, that would be like, well, no, they didn't say that it said MS-13. They clearly photoshopped that shit. and they were just trying to show the puzzle. They're trying to show that these images mean that. That's not even legit, because there'd be plenty of people out there that fucking straight up just like look at it and go like, no, it did. It like that wasn't Photoshop. It said MS-13. It's fucking crazy.
I feel I
yes,
don't have
shit.
the proper
Thank
words
you,
to describe this next part. How grotesque it is, how dangerous it is. The Trump administration has no argument that they did not deport Abrego Garcia unlawfully. What they deny is that they have the authority to bring him back.
Because he is a citizen of El Salvador. That is the president of El Salvador. Your questions about it, per the court, can only be directed to him.
How can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
That Oval Office meeting between Trump and Bukele was a moment when the mask fully slipped off.
Yeah, that's mask off right there.
If nothing else, Trump could slap those tariffs he is so fond of on El Salvador. But we are not angry.
They're eating
at
the
Bukele
cats.
here.
Exactly, Max. Exactly.
We, the government of America, are paying Bukele to imprison Abrego Garcia and others. Bukele is not doing this against Donald Trump's wishes. He is Donald Trump's subcontractor.
Yep.
I thought Jon Stewart pinpointed part of its horror well.
Careful with the Daily Show clip. She can get me enjoying
this. Each of them
100%.
declaring that there was nothing they could do for Abrego Garcia.
They are enjoying it. There's
no way
there
to allow him
smug-ass
his
smiles
day
on their
in
face.
court. No way to allow the American legal system to do its job and assess whether he is a danger. No way to follow the clear order of the Supreme Court. And from their perspective, maybe they're right. Because here's a scary thing that I think sits, at least partially, beneath their calculus. Politically, they cannot let Abrego Garcia out, nor any of the other people they sent to CCOT without due process.
All
because
bullshit.
what if he was released? What if he returned to the United States?
Yep.
What if
He'll
he could
never let
tell
him
his
return.
own story?
I said it. He'll never come
What if,
back.
as seems quite likely, he's been brutalized and tortured
Or do you
by
think
Trump's
he's going to stiff him?
Salvadoran henchmen? Well, he can't be allowed to tell the American people that. To the Trump administration, Abrego Garcia is not a mistake. He's a liability, and he's a test. A test of their power to do this to anyone.
Yep.
A test
It's
of
a
whether
test
the
case.
loophole they believe they have
It's a
found.
test case. Yep.
A loophole where if they can just get you on a plane, then they can hustle you beyond our laws and leave you in the
People can say
grips
it's
of the
not.
kind of
When that
gulags
shit
they
happens.
wish that they had here.
Remember, we said it was going to happen.
Potentially U.S. citizens fully naturalized immigrants.
They're not ashamed of this. They're not denying their desire to do it to more people.
Yeah, that includes them. What, do you think there's a special category of person? They're as bad as anybody that comes in. We have bad ones too. And I'm all for it. Because we can do things with the president for less money and have great security.
We are not even 100 days into this administration, and we are already faced with this level of horror. And I can feel the desire to look away from it, even in me. What all this
A lot
demands
of people
is
just
too
want to deny it and
inconvenient,
just act like it's not
too
happening because they'd rather
disruptive.
act like it's not happening
Trump has said it all
and think
plainly
it's
and
not going to happen to
publicly.
them.
He intends to
Shit
send
can
those
happen
he
to
hates
anybody, dude.
to foreign prisons beyond the reach of U.S. law. He does not care. He will not even seek to discover if those he is sending into these foreign hells are guilty of what he claims, because this is not about their guilt. It is about his power. This is how dictatorships work. Trump has always been clear about who he is and the kind of power he wants. And now he's using that power. And everyone around him is defending his right to wield that power.
Yep.
The foreign policy of the United States is conducted by the President of the United States.
And what he just said, too, is like, people need to take note of that. Trump has always said who he is. Always. And Trump supporters say, oh, you're just being triggered. You're just, he's just making jokes. Yet it turns out all the time that he follows through with these things. The third term thing, that's the next one. You can sit there and say all you want. He's just joking. He's just triggering the libs. And when that shit happens, eat a dick, okay? Eat a dick. If you're a person that says, he's just joking about the third term, bro. You guys get triggered, bro. If he runs for the third term, eat a dick. this is where I get, like, this is where I start getting mad. This is where I do start to, like, draw lines, right? Is people that support Trump will non-fucking stop make an excuse for every single thing he does. Everything. Everything he does. Big or small. The man's never taken a nail in their eyes. Never seen a loss. Like, at one point or another, people's patience is going to break with you. And that's why, you know, you have so many of these MAGA supporters that have lost friends, lost family, can't keep a job because nobody wants to be around them. And they think, as we said when we were watching the Andrew Callahan videos, they think, you know, it's their victimhood. It's not them that's creating this. It's the liberals. It's not them that made this bad decision. They made the right decision. And now you're casting disparagement upon this person that they love, that they iconicize, that they think is the most important person that's ever walked this earth. More important than Jesus, more important than George Washington. He's the most important thing that has ever happened to this country, if not this entire world. And then they wonder why everybody around them look at them and go, you're fucking crazy. You're in a cult. It's because you are. If you can't take a step back and recognize that's what is happening with this man is a test case for, if not you, then people like him, and that's not an acceptable thing here in America, you're blind. You're crazy. You've lost your goddamn mind. Holy shit. It's a level of cognitive dissonance that has only been written about in science fiction novels. It's a level of cognitive dissonance that only happens when people fall victim to those steps that Andrew Callahan was talking about in that video. The loss of connection, traumatic event, the loss of security. And the crazy thing is, these are the same people that will tell you that there's a mental health epidemic in America. They'll say it's not the guns, it's the crazy people. But it's not the guns, it's the crazy people. They've got half of it right. It's definitely the crazy people. It's them. It's fucking insane.
States, not by a court. And no court in the United States has a right to conduct the foreign policy of the United States. It's that simple. End of story.
The Supreme Court said exactly what Marco said, that no court has the authority to compel the foreign policy function of the United States.
That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us.
Mr. President, you wanted people to know that there was consequences if you break our laws and harm our people and endanger families. And this is a clear consequence for the worst of the worst, that we have somewhere to put them.
If President Donald Trump decides that you are to rot in a foreign prison, then that is his right. And you have no rights. And if he is capable of that,
insane to defend that.
If he wants that, then what else is he capable
to defend
of?
That.
What else does he want? And if the people who serve him are willing to give him that, to defend his right to do that, what else will they give him? What else will they defend? This is the emergency. Like it or not, it's here.
All right. Let's go to Big Me.
Democrats have a problem.
Stop it, Ezra. You got your one video in. Let's go to Big Me. Okay. Well, that's about it for my Monday stream. Hope you guys are enjoying the extra streams. Hope you guys are having a little bit of a good time. Try to keep this shit about as light as you can. But obviously it's also pretty goddamn serious. So that shouldn't be lost in all of this. That this is like a serious fucking problem. And, you know, I'm the guy that's going to make a joke in a foxhole with you. For sure. You know, but at no point should I ever, or you should ever think I'm discounting the seriousness of this. It's, we're at a point where if people, and I'm not talking about lefties, I'm not talking about liberals, I'm not talking about independents that didn't vote for Trump or conservatives that didn't vote for Trump. There's conservatives out there that know how bad Donald Trump is. There's conservatives that chose not to vote for Donald Trump. But for the people out there that haven't woken up to what exactly is going on in America today, if you don't wake up soon, man, it's going to be too late. And, you know, you're going to be standing around smoking a cigarette outside the robot factory where you go to build Elon Musk's only friends, you know, and telling yourselves like, yeah, man, fucking Joe Biden ruined this economy. 20 years later. 20 years later when Peter Thiel and Elon Musk and Curtis Yarvin and the rest of these fucking techno-oligarchs have control over the entirety of every resource, that have ruined all the relationships that America has with every other country because they'll go freely. They aren't part of the government. They'll go freely from country to country doing whatever they want. Meanwhile, you're going to be the ones that take it. You're going to be the one that can't go to other countries. You're going to be the one that when you go to Canada, people hate you. You're going to be the one that goes to Europe and people hate you. If you think Russians are going to like you, I got news for you. They ain't going to like you either. You know, we are literally pushing people into the arms of China. Like, I've always said this. They've never been, or they're not. I wouldn't say they've never been. They're not the enemy. They're our competitor. They are our competitor on a world stage for extremely high stakes. And just like in capitalism, that competitiveness can lead to innovation. That competitiveness can lead to, progress. But if America thinks that they're going to be competitive with somebody like China by pushing all of their trade partners, all of their allies into their arms, it's like watching Chip Kelly fucking coach the Eagles again. I'm just like, I know you've got a plan, dog, but it sucks. I know you got a plan, but it looks fucking stupid. You can't keep pushing our allies into the arms of China. You can't keep defending tariffs, saying, no, we're going to bring industry back to America and then take the tariffs off. We're not bringing industry back to America. It doesn't even make sense to bring the type of jobs that we would be bringing back to America for so many goddamn reasons that I can't cover tonight because I have to go upstairs and see my family. You can't, none of this makes sense. You can't yell at Jerome Powell and say he needs to be fired. There are people across the political spectrum, right, left, and independent, that say that Jerome Powell is the best man for the job. If you're dumb enough to think that Donald Trump is smarter than Jerome Powell when it comes to doing things with the central bank, once again, you're just part of the problem. I don't know what to say to you. I don't think there is anything that we can say to you. And at one point or another, people like me that have been out here saying, you know what, everybody deserves a right to a path to redemption. People like me that have tried to talk to you fucking MAGA supporters and be like, hey, I know what it's like to be poor. I know what it's like to be lower middle class. I know what it's like to be like, feel like you've been left out. Even people like me are going to look at you and go, all these people hate you. And you know what? you deserve it. Because you don't care about anybody but yourself. And for some fucking strange reason, you've pushed all of America's chips to the middle of the table and you've bet on Donald Trump. There just ain't much more to say. All right, guys. He heard she came at the end. Just in time to hear me fucking rant. Yeah, they're going to try and find a cause to get rid of him. Exactly, Scott. And that's crazy. That's crazy. I don't care if he's a conservative or if he's independent or he's liberal. I don't give a shit. He's the best man for the job. Leave that man alone. He helped keep us out of a recession. He fucking kept us from tanking. At the end of COVID, we're still the greatest fucking economy in the world because of that man and Joe Biden. I don't know what else to say. All right, guys. Tomorrow, guys, I am supposedly going on Sons of Liberty. That's allegedly, in the words of Robert Blake. I am allegedly going on Sons of Liberty tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Not 100% sure what they want me to rant about, but I'm sure whatever it is, I'll be completely capable of doing. So if you guys want to come check me out over on Sons of Liberty tomorrow, there won't... well, I might try to stream it as well. I'll see if I can figure out how to do the technologies and stream it on this channel as well. But if I don't, please come see me over on Sons of Liberty. You should come over there anyways and say hi. Spread the love. Yeah, and after that, we'll be back to Wednesday live stream again, politics and stuff. No games, just there to pay attention to everything that I'm supposed to be paying attention to. All right, guys. Well, I hope you guys have the rest of your Monday as a good Monday. And you know, you guys know, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I hope to see you next time.